Hey, beautiful.
We still on for dinner?
Pepper, 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, right?
How about 8:30 at the vegan place?
Actually, I'm in the mood for barbecue.
Sounds good.
Take a call and stay in the game. With the Plantronics rig, headset, and mixer, life comes to games like never before.
You don't need much more than this. The next start, falling here as well. Decimate takes a lot of damage. He's dead as Evan picks that one up in immunity. I think they've done it. The Nexus banned now. Sooner gonna get taken out here as well. Swiper taking it up. The Nexus taking damage and immunity. They have done it. They will get a game some. Good game, well played.
This is just the beginning of Riot's esports presence in Australia, right? We're here to stay. Stick around.
Welcome back to the Riot Autumn Regionals Round of 8. My name is Place and I'm joined with Atlas as always. And we've got two fantastic games coming up tonight from Group A and from Group B. Let's get into the Group A overview real quick and see what we're seeing from these guys today.
Yeah, thanks very much, Place. Group A, of course, has immunity already going through to the round of 4, and Optic Snipers have been knocked out of the tournament. We'll find out later today the next team in and the next team out when Avant-Garde Ascension take on Little Wraith.
Yeah, and that's an elimination match, but also a qualification match. So everything on the line for both of these teams. Will they be going to Supernova or will they be going home high and dry? So that's coming up second today. First game coming up, though, is going to be Dignitas taking on Team NV from Group B, and this one is just all about that qualification. It's a top set bracket, I should say, and the winner of that will take a higher seed out of Group B into Supernova.
Yeah, of course, and Group B is not as far along. We're still yet to find out the first person through to Supernova out of Team Dignitas and NV. Dignitas, of course, used to be Frenetic Array. They have been taken on by those giants over there from the US and the EU. There's now the third Dignitas team. It's the Dig Trio, as it were. I prefer Doug Trio, but Dig Trio is going to have to work just for now.
That's going to stick now.
One can only hope.
Planted that for him. But all right, so let's take a look at their overview, see what's going on with that, and how they've progressed.
Yeah, well, we'll see what's going on. We did actually just have a look at the Group B overview, of course. That's absolutely fine, Place. We'll keep on board with that. But yeah, as we said before, we're still yet to see who's going to go through, and we'll find out who else is.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night, actually, when Your Soul Shell Chuffer will take on the loser between Dignitas and Team NV.
Alrighty, so let's move on and see what the first game of the night is going to be going on here. We're going to have an interview first, though, from JKS and see what he thinks about how he went with Frenetic Array over the last year and now with Dignitas.
My summer name is JK Smithy and I play top lane for Frenetic Array. In Season 3, we played the Oceanic qualifiers and we lost early. We did due to a lack of preparation for the event and short notice. This season, we've gotten a couple new players. For the most part, the core lineups remain the same for the past almost 2 years. But these new players show a lot of motivation and good communication in game that have steadied our results. We're playing a lot more consistently than we used to. I'm not too worried about our performance this year because we've been performing well for the past 2 months, a lot more consistently. We've only had a couple of losses, and after each of these, we analyze what happened and we've been moving forward from these. The goal for the season is definitely to qualify for the International Wildcard event and with the potential to go to Worlds, basically be the Oceanic champions. Our main competitors would definitely be Team Little Wraith and Team Immunity. Team Immunity have a pretty good record against us, but it's a lot more even against Team Little Wraith.
All right, so interesting thoughts there from JKS. And before we get into game number 1 here, let's take a look at our featured matchup for this. It's going to be huge. Who is it?
Yeah,
Ooh,
of course, First Mate against Uber Giants, bro. And of course, there was game 1 actually played off stream. NV versus Dignitas, and First Mate dominated, played that Sivir, and was completely masterful on that champion.
And those stats are incredible there. 6 for 1 right there. Very, very similar to Uber Giants Bro, which is incredible because Uber Giants Bro has been a main AD carry for his team for a very long time. First Mate, by contrast, has made the transition from top lane down into that AD carry role. And so to see him fill out those mechanics so quickly is very impressive.
Yeah, it's really impressive. And both of these players as well are very similar. They're both the only ones to bring out that Draven as well in that bottom lane and play it to such a magnanimous extent. I mean, the amount of damage that was coming out. I mean, I remember looking back and placed, you were just absolutely appalled with the amount of damage that was coming out there on that Draven. And
it was filthy, yeah.
It was absolutely filthy, that is correct. So it's going to be massive to see whether these bot laners are going to be really getting into it or not.
Alrighty, so let's go into game 1. Champ Select is coming up, and there we go. Udia already banned out
surprise!
There. Taking it away from Rippy. You don't want to be giving that one away. Gragas banned out as well.
Yeah, taking away that Gragas as well, and it just doesn't want to see Heavens on that champion. I mean, Heaven's always able to play pretty much anything, but Gragas is so strong right now, you can't have him on one of these really contentious picks.
Okay, so this is a little bit interesting. Kassadin banned out by the blue team this time round, which means Heaven's obviously not comfortable on that. Perhaps he wants to be picking a more high-range champion, doesn't want to be going an assassin, and so as a result, doesn't want to be seeing that Kassadin in that lane against him.
It does seem a little bit like a throwaway ban. I guess they just don't want to play against it, and that would make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think necessarily that Kassadin is as strong as he used to be, but because of all of the nerfs that have been happening over the next little while, just to keep him off that perma-ban list. So he has been nerfed and played around with just a little bit, but not wanting to play him, not wanting to see him, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, seeing Kassadin, I mean, often they will just romp through your team. If someone's really, really good at that Kassadin,
picks are coming out so quickly, though. Elise, Ryze, Sivir all banned here. Ryze was played in Game 1 of this Dignitas versus NV matchup. Of course, this is Game 2. I think I said Game 1 by accident. But, of course, Game 1 was played off stream, so we didn't get to see it anyway. But Heavens played that Ryze, and he used TP as well. It's something we saw a lot from him earlier this year in the Go For Lol series, and he was smashing people with it. Teleporting to that bottom lane, kind of making up for their lackluster bottom lane at the time, which has since been replaced. And seeing that banned out, huge respect ban.
Yeah, massive respect ban. And Ryze has been banned out against Heaven's Curse almost this entire tournament.
Yeah.
Pretty much every other game that we've seen. I mean, he's obviously been playing that massively in scrims and just getting that teleport down to the bot lane and obviously stomping people's faces. And Heaven's just always a Ryze player. And since his recent buff to his Q range, he has become a more contentious pick. And there's been a little bit of it played internationally, but not quite as much as we're seeing from Heaven's Curse here in this mid lane.
Yeah, he's always loved that one. So the Lulu is the first pick up there from Pekka Coco. We'll have to wait and see if that's for Heavens in the middle lane or if it's on Delta Freeze in that bottom lane. Of course, in Oceania. Seen a lot of that Lulu in the bottom lane, but Morgana locked in here, though, by Rippy.
I very much like that. Morgana's support has just erupted onto the scene. And I mean, with the change, of course, to the Spell Thief's Edge as well, I mean, getting a little bit more gold, you can also harass really well with that Tormented Soil. Every tick giving you a little bit of that extra gold in that bottom lane as well. So Morgana support coming out, very, very excited to see that. And also, that means we're not going to be getting any of these Leonas, and Thresh not as strong either against that Morgana as well. So really nice pickup and just really strong. That Black Shield is amazing.
So with the Morgana picked up there, I'm kind of waiting for NV's next picks here. Do you think Lulu would be better off in that middle lane or support?
Well, I think because Heavens is on this team, the middle lane is probably where that Lulu is going to go. I mean, Heavens has been playing Lulu in this mid lane forever. Yeah. Since release, he played her in the mid lane when she wasn't necessarily as strong before. I mean, she's had a massive resurgence now, but she went through a phase when she wasn't all that strong, and Heavens was still playing her in that mid lane and still destroying people on that champion.
So you can see Heavens hovering that Thresh. He's locked that in as well, so that's going to be taken away from Little Uber Giant, and that's definitely a pick from him. Something that Little Uber Giant has played the most. It's their top played pick for the support in their ranked 5v5 team, as well as in solo queues. So the Ubers love that Thresh in that bottom lane. And it's good to see Delta Freeze taking that away.
Yeah, Delta Freeze wanted to pick that one up, and his Thresh play actually in Game 1 was phenomenal, having a look over that beforehand. And he was amazing, and just in general, like, Delta Freeze has just shown massive mastery on that Thresh. So seeing him there and paired up with this Draven that we were going on about before, of course, First Mate playing that one and coming off a really good game earlier. Wow, I'm really excited to see those spinning axes just hitting everyone in the face with massive damage.
I really love this Draven picker in Oceania. I mean, it's something that Zero played through Cybergamer last year, and as a result, I feel like Frenetic Array started to catch on, and then they picked it up themselves here. And picking that away from Uber Giants Bro is very important, because I feel he would have wanted to pick that Draven for himself because he's so good at it. And I'm interested to see how First Mate goes on this. He has incredible mechanics for a fairly new AD carry player.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to be able to pull it off quite well with that Thresh.
Well, yeah, of course. And we've already seen First Mate play that Draven as well, and he was fantastic on it. So hopefully he manages to pick that one up again. And Shyvana now being hovered over for like the last pick. And having Shyvana get through this many rounds is completely insane. But of course, having that Renekton come through, first pick for Dignitas, it's going to be easily just picked up at any point because you're not going to be picking another top laner. And Shyvana in the jungle, not quite as strong as they used to be. So they're locked in. And Mattress on his Wukong again as well. And Mattress played a phenomenal Wukong recently.
Yeah, he's been playing really well. And I love the Wukong pick with that Shyvana pick as well. There's lots of engage. And against an Amumu here, it's going to be very important. Once Amumu's finished using his CC abilities, that ultimate and his Q as well, there's not much he can really do for his AD and AP carries to peel. And champions like Shyvana can really take advantage of that. Get in there with the speed, really put the damage down. And these are probably the most ideal pickups for Team NV right now.
Yeah, Dignitas do have the amazing combination of Soul Shackles and Curse of the Sad Mummy, though, because if you land that Soul Shackles, you get your Morgana really deep into that fight, and then you get the perfect Curse of the Sad Mummy, you're almost guaranteed to have that second stage stun on that Morgana. So, of course, she has to survive, but if she does, I mean, that's so much lockdown and amazing teamfight potential here coming out of Dignitas.
Alrighty, so last pick, still being hovered. Will it get locked in? That's Syndra for Kensty in the middle lane. Such a big pick, and it's something we've seen Heavens play a lot, but I don't know if we've seen too much of it from Kensty.
It's locked in.
There it is.
It's locked in, of course. Heavens and Swift are also playing that one as well on Team Immunity. I mean, there's a lot of Syndra players here over in Oceania, and I'm excited to see Kensty up against Heavens here on this Lulu, of course. As we were talking about before, the threshold going over to Delta Freeze, meaning that Lulu is going to be in the middle lane and taking that teleport as well, by the looks of things.
And, I mean, if that teleport does get picked up, it's going to be big. Heavens did that in game number 1 on that Rise and was a big reason that they managed to take that game out. Of course, game 2, it's pretty much do or die here for Dignitas if they want to pull through here. And Team NV, they looked really strong in that first game there.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. But the newly brought together Dignitas, of course, has all the potential to be able to come back. We've spoken about this before many times, but their teamfight control is so fantastic. And having abilities like Soul Shackles and Curse of the Sad Mummy and all of these things that are so instrumental at getting right, this is exactly the team that you want to have that responsibility because they're fantastic.
And it's quite reminiscent as well. When you watch someone like Team Immunity, they just have that synergy and experience when it comes to those mid-game fights. And I feel Frenetic Array are doing a good job of really taking advantage of that. Similarly to how we see Little Wraith play their objective game because it's something that they are very strong at doing. Frenetic Array definitely know their strengths like that. They also know their weaknesses too. They know that, Rippy can sometimes be a little over-courageous on his tanks, and they've done a really good job of controlling that aspect of his playstyle. And Frenetic Array looking like a super strong team here to go to Supernova. They just got to win the next 2 games and they'll be in.
Yeah, and there's also the fact that Rippy got on his Amumu as well. And I mean, Rippy known for his Udyr, but if he doesn't get that, generally he falls back on his Amumu almost every time.
Because Elise and Olaf will be banned.
Yeah, well, just
everything's banned against Rippy. So.
Yeah, and everything's banned in the jungle as well. I mean, it's not often that you manage to see an Elise actually get through a ban phase. So having his Amumu, haven't seen it all that much, but he's just so good. And he plays this Amumu, and you expect it to be really weak in the early game, but this is Rippy, so he doesn't mind. He's just ripping through that and still taking names. Even in the earlier stages of the game, when you expect Amumu just to be counter-jungled to death over and over again.
And I'm very interested to see how Frenetic Array want to play out this middle game because I feel that's the strongest point of their team comp. Trying to take advantage of Shyvana while she's still in that top lane and not a part of the fights. I feel like that's when Amumu can really be the most effective, is engaging those 4v4s.
Yeah, and also the 2v2s in the top lane as well. But we are about to be getting into this gameplay, so I'm so excited. Let's do it.
Yeah. So we are onto the Rift here for game number 2 of Team NV taking on Team Dignitas. I'm expecting a 5-man defense. What are you expecting, Atlas?
Yeah, I'm expecting to have the river lined with people ready to put their wards down place. It's just generally what happens in the earlier stages of this game. There are some aggressive pings coming out of NV, though, so they might posture around something to try and get something out a little bit earlier on in this game. They do have death sentence available, so that will definitely help in these earlier stages of the game.
And the thing is, both of these teams qualified so early into the round of 8, and they've only played one best-of-3 each, that there's not much games to use as research between these guys. I doubt they've been scrimming each other either, because they know they're going to be facing off in these regional matches. So it's a little bit hard to play out these early games when you don't have much pre-thought and background knowledge.
Yeah, and you definitely need to watch a lot of their earlier games to know what their habits are and where they generally stand around in order to get these defensive starts going. So they're probably going off just what the average is, but they're just going to be cruising on around. They're just staying together here, NV, not wanting to leave a man behind.
Yeah, and lots of pings coming out as well. You can see Mattress probably needs that red buff. You know, he can't really afford to go for an invade here. It's a little bit dangerous even against an Amumu, because that Wukong does kind of struggle for his early clear there. He doesn't have much in terms of sustain.
Yeah, that's really true. And Wukong being adapted here to the jungle with his lack of sustain is really interesting. That Cyclone is just so important, though, so it's fantastic to see Wukong here. Also, the jungle items have been changed just a little bit to give you a little bit more health back when you defeat those camps.
I think that's a really good point, Atlas, is how important Mattress's ultimate here is. And when we look at Rippy, he's historically a very farm-heavy jungler. He loves just to sit in that jungle, ignore his lanes to some extent, and just get strong himself. And on Amumu, that's a very good playstyle there. He's going to get that level 6 quickly and then force that mid-game. So if Mattress does the same here on Wukong, it's definitely going to play in the hands of Rippy, because it's something Rippy does so much. He's so accustomed to it. Whereas Mattress, we've seen him for some more aggressive junglers in the past, so it's going to be a bit interesting.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And he's not going to be able to necessarily play on the weak early game of Amumu that we slightly touched on earlier. So being this Wukong, I mean, you don't have any lockdown until you have that Cyclone. So Amumu going to be able to just waddle out of the way. Definitely doesn't want to upfront fight a Wukong early on, but is going to be able to escape if he needs to. Dark Binding just going wide there in the bottom lane.
So we're going to have to keep an eye on this bottom lane here. It's a bit unfortunate that Delta Freeze picked that Thresh first, or after that Morgana rather, because those black shields are going to stop a lot of the aggression that a Draven would otherwise want here.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you can still follow through on your death sentence if you do land it on a black shielded target, so he can get in there still, so it's still great. If you get the box down as well, that takes away a black shield. It does a lot of damage, the box. So you're going to be able to generally get rid of it, support Morgana's shield with that one, and then you can use your Flay and other abilities.
First mate getting chunked there, though. A Built over Peacemaker did land. And that's a little bit unfortunate for him then. Going to have to chug those health potions, giving Caitlyn a pretty good upper hand 3 minutes into this lane.
Yeah, they lost the race to level 2 there in the bottom lane. Now First Mate picking it up and Delta Freeze as well. But Uber Giants Bro doing really, really well in this Caitlyn to utilize the range. The range advantage between Caitlyn and Draven is massive. So easily able just to stand out of the way, avoid those spinning axes, and just get auto attacks, headshots, and Pilt over Peacemakers off on him whenever she wants.
So, top lane as well. Pekka Coco looking for the farm game here. Renekton and Shyvana, such an El Clasico matchup in this top lane. Always pretty slow as well, just a farm fest.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, Renekton having that aggression advantage earlier on. Of course, Shyvana not exactly as strong as Renekton in the earlier stages of this game, even though Pekka Coco going a bit aggressive there. But doesn't have the sustain and doesn't have just the flat-out damage that a Renekton has.
And the thing about JKS as well is he's such a consistent player. We rarely see him falling behind in lane, although we do see him pick things like Rumble sometimes, or perhaps even the Kazakhs, and really do well. So he's a very consistent player and staple for his team, and I feel that really works with the Dignitas lineup here.
Yeah, and he knows how to carry a game, like you were saying. I mean, picking that Kazakhs and the Rumble means that he knows how to be that damage for his team, so he understands how to be a tank and how to really organize these fights in the way that can get his carries working. That being said, JK Smithy going so low.
Takes a lot of damage. That Ignite will tick. Not quite going to take him out there. The health pot just saves him.
Oh my goodness.
But there was only a sliver of health left.
I thought that last tick was going to be able to finally take him out. The health pot tick was just enough to sneak him back in, but a lot of damage by Pekka Coco. Amazing work. And just after we were talking about the fact that Renekton's so strong early.
Thing is, they're still even on CS here, and JKS only going to miss about half a creep wave there. It's not a big deal for him, considering this top lane's going to be a bit of an island, so I feel like he can bounce back quite easily off that one. There's the hook as well. Little Uber Giant just black shielding that one away.
Yep, no problem at all, and that's what we're talking about. Delta Freeze not opting to go in on it this time.
I'd really like to see him go in. It's a bad idea, but man, it would be cool to watch.
Yeah, because you can have Morgana walk away as fast as she likes, and that death sentence can become pretty long. It can be pretty amusing to watch.
Yeah, you can flash as well, and you just keep getting dragged along.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's been some really, really fancy
Black
plays
Shield to
using that.
Kassadin while he jumps back and just see how long you can move Thresh through the air. Oh, man.
Yeah, try and have a
dream.
Blitzcrank on the other team as well, just waiting in the wings somewhere.
I think we're getting a bit too
Yeah,
elaborate right now.
we're getting a little bit too excited, but that's absolutely fine because not all that much is happening. Dark Bindings are missing left, right, and center.
Yeah, that was a really nice dodge by Delta Freeze as well. Kind of surprised he didn't want to capitalize on that, but...
Oh, JK Smith taking so much damage in this top
Rippy's
lane.
here as well, though. Pekka Coco's in big trouble. Going to take a lot of damage. JKS looking for it. Pekka Coco still has that flash, so he will be able to get away.
Oh,
no, it's actually
toss.
on cooldown. Pekka Coco will go down in this gank. A couple more hits from Rippy. Flashes forward, and that will be the first blood going to Dignitas.
Yeah, really, really nice work. Flashes forward just to make sure that he gets that tantrum damage down. And Pekka Coco knew that he was going to be dying at that point. He just knew, because having Rippy on that Amumu on top of you for that length of time, you're never going to be able to survive. So really, really nice gank attempt from Rippy, and nice bait from JKS as well.
Yeah, and really good job from Rippy. I mean, we consider him to be the farm jungler here, yet he pulls off the first gank. He wasn't level 6 yet, only about level 5 there. And so really being aggressive in this game, which is good to see from him. He wants to take that first step and be on the initiative, I guess.
Well, that's true, and it's also the fact that Pekka Coco was not expecting an Amumu gank pre-6, so he was happy just to push the lane up as much as possible, didn't have the warding that he necessarily needed, because Mattress, of course, just putting that ward down now in the river. Wow. So a little bit of underestimating there as far as Rippy's aggression is concerned, and we were talking about this earlier. I mean, Rippy doesn't mind that he's on Amumu. He's still going to be ganking.
Yeah, I guess the mind game's kind of coming in there. And I guess that's something that Rippy has probably been thinking about. He's painted himself as a very farm-heavy jungler, a guy that loves doing that. So maybe he's starting to use that to his advantage. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, he's definitely farm-heavy, but also really, really aggressive in these ganks at the same time. He's just all-round a fantastic jungler.
So, over the rest of the map, though, pretty even middle lane here, 60 to 80, or 58 CS, I should say. And the rest of the lane's looking pretty solid as well. Ruby Crystal starts for both of the supports was a little bit interesting, though.
Yeah, wanting to...
Oh, Heaven's in trouble, though. Lots of damage. Curse of the Sand Mummy as well. Pops the Wild Growth, but now is out of mana. Flashes away. We'll try and run.
There it is.
Bandage Toss into the Unleash the Power. Unleashes the Bandage Toss, and there's the kill.
And that's 2 for 2 on Bandage Tosses here in the times where he needed it by Rippy. Really amazing work, knowing that he's not going to get juked. Just going to be getting all of those out exactly when he needs it. Nice, nice play.
And that's 2-0 now for Dignitas as well here. Pekka Coco under a lot of pressure, and we saw a huge early dive onto JKS. He didn't go down, and we thought that would be a shift in momentum, but Pekka Coco, after that gank, is really struggling in this lane, about an 8 CS difference already.
Yeah, not quite having the health that he necessarily needs at this point. Does have the Chain Vest. Oh, Dominus popped!
And there's the retreat from Pekka Coco, using that Dragon's Descent, keep himself safe.
Yeah, descending back to his turret, of course. And another Dark Binding, just going a little bit wide here, little Uber.
But look at the zone little Uber's setting up right here with this Morgana. Despite, well, because he has that Black Shield, I should say, there's not much Delta Freeze can do to force aggression. Look at that. Little Uber just walks up, pops ulti, and that forces the flash of Delta Freeze here. And this is why we're seeing Uber Giants, bro, with a huge CS lead already at 8 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. Little Uber Giant has to be a little bit careful, though, because he's running out of mana. He's not going to be able to be throwing out these Black Shields, exactly when he wants to, just because he's not going to have the resources to do it. So they're wisely backing off. Of course, Uber Giant's bro going to be able to finish off that BF sword and gather some boots as well. So easily picks up a lot of items to just keep pushing this advantage.
Okay, so earlier on we kind of talked about how Mattress and Rippy were going to be fairly calm in the jungle, looking to farm. Rippy's told us otherwise. He's ganking a lot now. Mattress, what's he been doing? Whoa, actually, there we go in the top lane. Pops Cyclone as well. JKS gets a slice and dice out, but still taking a lot of damage. He will go down here. Pekka Coco, one more hit will get it. He does pick it up.
Yeah, Pekka Coco picking that one up, even though the Nimbus Strike was coming straight into JKS's face. And this answers your question here, Place. It was Mattress just waiting for the opportune moment, manages to get that kill on Smithy, and really, really nice. Of course, you want to be getting your Shyvana as ahead in that lane as possible, just because it is slightly difficult in these early stages of the game. And now you've got a kill under that Shyvana.
I kind of wonder right now if Mattress is feeling some pressure from Rippy, as if he has to gank because his opposing jungler is right here. You know? You see the enemy
Oh,
Shaco.
banished us.
Oh no, Pekka Coco going to take some damage. Rippy just needs to walk out. But as I was saying, you know, you're in solo queue and you see the enemy Shaco just destroying everyone. You're like, oh man.
Yeah, what have I been doing
I
all
should
game?
really start ganking as well. I wonder if Mattress is kind of going through this situation in his head right now.
Well, he also did hit that level 6 mark, so had that Cyclone available to really lock down that gank, which I think is intelligent, even though, of course, Rippy was making an example of the fact that you can still be really, really effective without having that next level ultimate as far as the lockdown is concerned. Mattress realizing that he's not necessarily going to be able to do exactly the same thing and waits for his ultimate to be there and really secures that kill with everything that he had.
Well, Mattress popped the clone there in the middle lane, didn't actually go for the gank. Feel like Syndra knew he was there.
Yeah, Dignitas doing really, really well with these pink wards. Look, you know that you can have 1 per person, and there's 3 on this map right now. 3 people already getting these pink wards out and really making sure that they maximize the vision. And there's potential for these to be alive for a very long time as well.
Well, we'll see 1 get taken out right there, but the 2 pink wards in the river, 1 just gets found as well by by Mattress there, so this isn't really working out with my plan. But those pink wards can last a long time because they're not common paths to walk through. People just don't go through those bushes, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it's actually a very popular position to put a pink ward, but still, people just don't generally look for it. But that's absolutely okay. You can just leave those pink wards there.
There we go. Mattress put down his own pink. Gets caught out for it. Rippy's here as well. Delta Free's going to put out that Lantern. Can they get some damage down? A fair bit on Mattress, but not quite enough.
Yeah, Curse of the Sad Mummy was available as well. They're going to be able to pick up this ward, and it's a little bit of just facing off against one another. Not sure about the engagements, not sure exactly where everyone is. And nice vision by NV just to know exactly what was going on in that bottom brush area.
Yeah, First Mate almost caught a snare there as well. And this is a crucial moment for both teams. The Dragon's up at 11 minutes here. It's going to be one of the later Dragons of the regionals so far. So these guys definitely winding up for it. Kalen Ultimate popped as well. Pekka Coco really defending this top tower now. You can see that pressure, but Little Uber's being caught. Cyclone does get popped. Mattress taken very low. Will eat the Soul Shackles, but Uber Giants, bro, in big trouble. Forced to barrier right there. Rippy taking a lot of damage. Will go down, and NV just cleaned up that fight. It's a 1-for-1, but I think NV will be able to take the Dragon off it.
Yeah, hopefully they'll be able to utilize... Oh, Heaven's very, very low in the mid lane. This is definitely going to
he has Unleashed the Power. He has Ignite as well. Heavens needs to be careful. But unfortunately, Syndra popped that Q instead, so won't pick up a kill. Heavens playing that one so close. Flash Ignite was available for Kensty.
Yeah, definitely ballsy play, and you'd expect the Syndra to be utilizing that one, but really, really ballsy by Heavens, and understands his champion really, really well, so knows that he has that shield available, knows that he has the mobility, and will be able to potentially get away from this stuff. But as you were saying, I mean, Kensty was low on mana, so Unleash the Power wasn't really an option, but Ignite, of course, is still there.
Oh, Heaven's in trouble, though, and Kensty's got a bit more mana this time. Not much damage, actually, from the Unleash the Power, but there is the Scatter the Weak. Heavens will go down, and Kensty picks it up in the 1v1.
Yeah, really nice. Kensty having that Chalice of Harmony isn't going to be out of mana for too long, so Heavens just waited around a little bit too much and wasn't able to get the kill. And Dignitas now going to be picking up this Dragon.
Yeah, really digging themselves into this Dragon right here.
Yeah, using that bandage as a shovel.
Oh, I like that. But there we go. Here, this is a great move from Dignitas right there. They pick up the 1v1 in the mid lane. Kensty can go toe-to-toe with Heavens now, and they say, hey, let's take that advantage and transition it into an objective. Getting the Dragon there. First of the game at 13 minutes. Fantastic rotation from Dignitas.
Yeah, really, really nice work. And they didn't lose any pressure in the top lane as well.
Watch out. He's going to find some members of NV right here. Just back straight out. Peace. And just nopes out.
No problem at all. He's just going to do some scouting and then wander out.
Yeah. Well, he's going for the invade there, so I guess it's kind of respect on his behalf to leave.
Yeah, well, he's not going to be able to 2v1, not necessarily as a level 8 Amumu, not really at his unkillable stage that he can potentially get to on this Amumu as well.
I want to see if he decides to build some damage here, though. He's 3-1-0. He's already going for a big defensive build path here, but perhaps picking up like a Leandries or something like that. Perhaps even the Abyssal Scepter just for some additional magic damage. I mean, you look at the rest of his team. JK Smithy, even on Renekton, has quite a bit of magic damage with the Dominus. You've got Kensty in the middle lane. You've got Little Uber on that support. So something like that Abyssal might work out for him if he wants to build it in the late game.
Yeah, that could be true. I mean, a Sunfire Cape also a really nice item on a move because he wants to be getting that Despair and ticking on everyone. So the more AoE magic damage that you've got going on around you, the better it is. But we'll see what he decides to do. I like Leandries as well, but it's not necessarily what you want to do if you want to go full tank Amumu.
Well, let's see. Uber Giant popping that Soul Shackles. Box comes out as well. First Mate looking for the damage. Does eat a snare. Uber Giants, bro, can't engage just yet. Ate the box right there. Oh, Rippy came in, but a great flash from Delta Freeze.
Yeah, and a really nice minion block there to block the bandage toss as well, which is a little bit unfortunate. Rippy not able to get in amongst it. Did have the Curse of the Sad Mummy available, so that was very dangerous.
Mattress going with the stealth flashes as well. Gets a Cyclone. Kensty's in big trouble. Going to take a lot of damage. Managed to get the stun off onto Heavens, but it's not going to be enough. Mattress picks up the kill.
Yeah, very nice flash Nimbus strike there coming out of Heavens. Out of Mattress, and that was the Heavens Mattress there. Putting Kensty to bed in that middle lane.
Oh man, that is fantastic, and they need to be doing this a little bit more often though, because Kensty is making things happen in this lane. Otherwise, right here, you can see Heavens 0, 2, and 1 under a lot of pressure, ahead by about 10 CS in lane, but that doesn't mean much because of his deaths right here.
Yeah, that's true. And of course, the global gold going to Dignitas as well. 2 turrets up. The first one now going down for NV, and they had that dragon as well earlier on. So looking really good for Dignitas at this point. And look at how much pressure they have on this map and so many wards in this red side jungle of NV.
Alrighty, so what is next for Dignitas right here? They've picked up the dragon. They've got some great
ward
coverage. JKS, nice slice over the wall. Pekka Coco will follow. Eats the wall as he goes through. Slows him down a little bit, but he's still on the chase here. JK Smithy still in danger, but Mattress is too far away, and he won't be able to follow it up.
Yeah, unfortunately, Burnout not making him quite quick enough, and after headbutting that wall ridiculously hard with the Dragon's Descent, was unable to really catch on to that JKS. It looked very amusing, definitely.
It's very satisfying for me watching Pekka Coco play the dragon. I think I said in a previous cast that Pekka Coco sounded like an exotic bird name to me.
Yeah, that's true, like a dodo. Yeah.
This is as close as we can get.
Yeah, it's the Pekka Dodo over the wall.
Pekka Dodo, alright.
Yeah, that's why they're extinct, because they smash their heads into walls all the time, apparently.
Well, mid tower goes down. Another great rotation from Dignitas right here, using that pressure in the top lane right there. And will they pick up a second? The response from NV is here, though. I think they'll be able to defend this one.
Yeah, definitely. 5v4 here in the middle lane on NV's side. And JK Smithy able to push this one up to the turret. I think he'll probably be stopped by Pekka Coco in time to actually fend that one off. But NV really getting pressured so hard in this mid-game time.
And this is Dignitas taking advantage of a mid-game movement right here. They can keep Shyvana in that top lane there with JKS, and they can use that AoE CC that they have on their team to really rip through Team NV here, and there's not much that Team NV can do without Pekka Coco. Rippy's going to take damage. Brilliant Black Shield keeps him safe. Managed to get a 4-man Curse of the Sand Mummy off, but Dignitas are getting ripped to shreds right here. Kensty is on the run, isn't in range to use Scatter the Weak. Pekka Coco, great ultimate. It only just came off cooldown as well. Kensty looks to respond, but Little Uber Giant's going to take a lot of damage. Pekka Coco follows him, finds the kill in the 1v1, and JKS making his way through. Heaven survives with a great shield blocking that ace in the hole, and Dignitas, they go 2 for 1 in this fight, but they're still going to put the pressure down.
That was incredible. It looked like it was going to be a really difficult fight there for NV just because Mattress didn't manage to get far enough in with that Cyclone. Only affected Rippy, but they took him out before that Curse of the Sad Mummy really did too much damage and made that that mummy really cause trouble. And then NV just had so much reciprocated damage after everything had come out that Dignitas just couldn't do anything.
I think one of the big things in that fight as well was Kensty used his Scatter the Weak combo right before that engage happened, so he couldn't stun at all to follow up off that Curse of the Sand Mummy.
Yeah, that's true. And having that Cyclone unscatterable as well is something, and I think that was the go button there for Mattress, but not quite able to get right in there, which caused him. But being able to survive then as well, using the shield from the Lantern to actually stop going down, was absolutely ridiculous. He only barely survived that fight.
Yeah, and I mean, he's really a king-size Mattress right now. He really stepped up for that team fight. Maybe a double Mattress there. He's 2 for 1, but great score all around. He had a slow early game, but he's making up for it now. All of that extra farm that he managed to pick up, that extra, I guess, safety in his early game, make sure he didn't fall behind. It's paying off now.
Yeah, it definitely is. He really is the Hamilton Mattress, and I think a Hamilton Mattress must be a really, really good mattress.
That was his old name.
That was his old name, in fact. Just for any of those veterans out there. We're just going to be watching this top lane where we're going to have both of these guys just button heads,
killing
as
minions.
Per usual.
And the dragon will spawn as well. It just came up. We're going to see them go toe-to-toe down here as well. Will they be able to start a fight?
Ooh,
great combo from Kensty. Good stealth as well. Rippy again at the front of the fight right there. Doesn't get hooked in this time. So both teams just going to back off, just kind of playing with each other here. See if they can bait out some big skills.
Yeah, after the Death Sentence and the Dark Binding missed, they decided not to go in for anything. And we'll see whether Delta Freeze can actually make something happen. Kensty's available.
Ooh, lots of damage coming out there. Rippy going to get hooked in. Black Shield already used. Great ultimate from Mattress and the follow-up from Heavens. That was a fantastic engage. And Dignitas in big trouble right here. Scatter the Weak doing absolutely no damage. Giants Bro just gets destroyed right there as well. Heavens as well, looking for it, but it's all about First Mate, looking for a double kill here. Rippy comes around behind him. A triple kill, though, for Kensty, turning this one around with a filthy Syndra damage right here. Heavens the only survivor. Can he get a clean up?
Oh,
nice
wow.
snare. Great turnaround. Heavens gonna get a double kill. Can he get the triple? Rippy's out of mana. He will go down. Heavens steps it up big. What a monster.
Wow, just really cleaning up. And he was up on the top side of that and then came through at the very end after First Mate his untimely demise there by Kensty, which was a really nice pickup using that Dark Sphere, but they were all so low that Heavens just came in, was able just to finish them off with Lulu's amazing sustained damage. Really nice play there by Heavens, and really getting himself back into this game now 5-2-2.
Absolutely incredible stuff from him. He's now 5-2-2. What a score, and look at that build as well. Getting so much of this AP, surely he's going to be going for that Void Staff next as well.
Yeah, has that Rabadon's Death Cap finished off, and it looks like the standard direction place. You're going to finish off that Rabadon's and then get that Void Staff for maximum penetration and damage, and those Glitter Lances are just going to be lancing through people.
Yeah, and he had a rough early game as well. He was 0-2-1, so he's picked up 5 kills and an assist without dying right now. He's on a roll, and he's going to be worth a lot of money as well. Needs to make sure he doesn't die to anyone too important like Uber Giants Bro or Kensty in any of the upcoming fights.
Yeah, and I mean, it was the last 2 team fights that really boosted Heavens back into this game.
Oh,
That being
great
said,
catch onto Heavens. They're going to blow him up at the start of this fight. Mattress gets a nice ultimate off as well. It's not going to be enough. Dignitas just playing with NV right now. They get 2 kills off that, and that'll be the Dragon.
Yeah, 2 kills for free, and unfortunately, Pekka Koko nowhere to be seen. And of course, our First Mate not in that fight at all either. So just taking out the jungler and the mid laner here for free, Dignitas will definitely take that one. Whirling Blade's not enough to steal that Dragon.
And again, Dignitas showing how good they are at playing those objectives. Team NV smashed that last fight, but at the end of it, they didn't have the resources to do that objective. And Dignitas, they capitalized on that really hard.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Heavens just didn't have the vision as well, so got a little bit caught out. The Unleashed Power just obliterating him, and then Mattress was in amongst 4 people and unable to do anything either. So nice play there by Dignitas, but I think that NV really needs to get their warding happening, because as you can see, it's getting dominated by red wards here.
And that's something Dignitas has been doing well all game. We pointed out at about 6 or 7 minutes that there were 3 pink wards out from Frenetic Array, or rather Dignitas. They're keeping that up as well, and that's essential for them in this game so far. Right now, they're looking pretty strong. 37,000 gold to 33, a good gold lead and a huge tower lead for Dignitas.
Yeah, this is definitely looking good for the old Frenetic Array, now Dignitas NV.
Oh, Lantern.
Delta Freeze here.
Mattress going to go in. Nice flame, knocking JK Smith backy. Oh, JK Smith backy. JKS Smithy back, and he's going to try and turn the engage there. Not going to find it. Little Uber a little bit late to the party, but good defense as well.
Yeah, they got out of the dominance. They saw that Little Uber was coming up that river as well with that ward that they did see, so not going to be taking their chances here. And now there's a 4-man push here in the top lane.
Yeah, look at the positioning as well from Rippy. He wants to engage. They're sitting out to the left so he can have that line of sight for a bandage toss. Frenetic Array, they want to fight this right now because they know Heavens was in that bottom lane. Heavens just went B as well, so it's going to slow down a little bit now.
Yeah, they did well to clear that wave, but it's not going to be enough. I mean, basically they've got First Mate here on that Draven in order to clear waves, unless Pekka Koko wants to get really far ahead, which is dangerous considering his health position and the fact that Rippy can lock him down.
Nice scout of the week. This will be the engage. Mattress gets another great ultimate off. Wild Growth as well. JK Smithy has the black shield. Tower does go down, but Rippy's out of mana right here. He's not going to be able to do much more in this fight. No kills so far. Only Mattress going down there for NV. NV, oh, look at the damage on the Heavens. Takes a huge chunk from Kensty. They're going to back off. No deaths for Dignitas. They get a tower and a kill.
Yeah, Kensty is doing so much damage at this point, and NV really cannot contend. If they let Kensty just stand around and get Dark Spheres off and utilize all of his abilities, like that Unleashed Power is going to do so much. It does, of course, more damage based on the amount of Dark Spheres that are on the ground. So if he can get those off, poke the team down, and then get the Unleashed Power off, he's going to almost single-handedly obliterate everyone.
Yeah, and it's scary because you look at Mattress. He's got 2 defensive items here, a Merc Treads and that Hex Drinker.
Nice dodge.
Hensty looking for a kill there onto Heavens. Can they find it? Oh, Uber Giants gets it with the Peacemaker. No piece right there. He takes out the target.
Yeah, very nice. And Heavens just able to juke the Scat of the Week, but Kenzie just too much upfront damage and getting that slowdown with the W as well.
Yeah, so, you know, as I was saying, though, Mattress, he's a bit of a squishy target here, though, against Kensti, and that's scary because that only really leaves Pekka Coco to try and be that tanky frontline for NV, and it's honestly not enough right now because Rippy is going to be able to keep him peeled off the AD carry, as well as JK Smithy, so Uber Giants Bro is fairly safe right here. He can use that extra time he's going to have in fights to melt down Pekka Coco slowly.
Yeah, it's true, and I mean, although Mattress has built almost all magic resist, he's still getting wrecked by Kensti, and Kensti's soon going to have that Void Staff as well, so wow, it's getting very, very scary for NV at this point. They really need to consolidate, and they can if they get enough wards out, get enough farm onto First Mate. He now has his last Whisper completed, so he's still doing a ton of damage on that Draven, so
yeah,
he needs to get those Adoration stacks up, really get his items built. And in this late game, they definitely still have the potential to take this game.
I'd really like to see how much Adoration gold Draven would get if he picked up a kill right now. 25 minutes in, he is going to have a lot of stacks. In laning phase, he was juggling 2 axes as well, so if he picks up a kill, he could be getting a lot of gold right here, and that could be a big turnaround, actually.
It might almost be, yeah, thanks for the...
Rippy's going to jump in. I don't know who got it. It was Rippy. Got it with the smite right there. Can they keep fighting, though? Dignitas going to go for it. Pekka Coco baiting with this Banshee's shield right here. It's going to go down, though. Dignitas will back off. Happy with that blue buff. But they need to bait for about 35 seconds now because without Smite, they can't contend this Baron. They need to make sure it's safe. And they're actually going to go for it here. Okay, this is quite aggressive right now. Mattress, oh, he used Smite as well.
Yeah, but they had a lot of vision. Dignitas had a lot of vision of the area. And
nice clone, but Mattress is still being caught, takes a lot of damage. Pekka Coco jumps in, but it's a 2v5 right now. The rest of NV late to the party. Heavens comes around the right side and gets an instant kill right there onto Little Uber Giant. JKS now on the run as well. Rippy goes down. First Mate picks up a kill. That's huge for him. They're going to keep fighting here. Uber Giants Bro will go down. NV just steamrolling this fight, and they get an ace. What a fight right here. They're going to get the Baron as well.
Oh my goodness. First Mate just standing in the back line, picking up his axes and just chunking people's faces off. That was ridiculous. And that was the problem. It was the fact that Dignitas was unable to get on top of First Mate. Curse of the Sad Mummy came out. Wasn't quite enough in order to get there to that Draven and really secure that kill. So really amazing work by NV, and they just utilized the fact that they knew that they had the sustained damage to take this one out.
And look at that. Easy Baron for them. Evens up the score. 14-14 at this 27-minute mark. Gold, only 1,000 between, and those towers really the only difference between these two teams. And NV have just taken this game back by the reins, and they're definitely still in it.
Yeah, they really, really are still in. I mean, 1,000 gold down, but they have about 1,000 gold each in items on this Baron buff that they're all wearing. So at least for the next few minutes, they're going to have a massive advantage, even in items and power level.
So what does NV do with this now that they've done that? Kensti obviously a huge threat here from Dignitas, and there's a lot of wave clear from Caitlyn as well.
I think they need to use this in order to snowball the victory. I mean, what they need to do is they need to start taking easy turrets. I mean, that top lane outer turret is definitely an example. They could potentially try and contest this dragon, but they're out of position right now.
Yeah, it's a fairly common thing, though. I mean, you take that Baron, you need some time to reset, go base. Mattress has gotten caught again. Great flash to get out. And the Lantern. Good plays there. Delta Freeze really saving his jungler right there. Heavens as well, almost getting caught as well. NV, they need to kind of gather their thoughts here and make sure they're on the same page.
They're definitely playing with fire at this point. Mattress is playing incredibly aggressively. He's always in there trying to make the work happen, but as we saw in that last team fight, I mean, he went down, but he also decimated. He managed to get his Cyclone off on everyone and really do the work that he needed to. So, I mean, that playstyle is exactly what they need.
So, NV going to rotate up. A couple pings going out in the jungle, just clearing out some of these pink wards that they've seen for a while. Double wards coming out as well. It's the way to do it.
Yeah, you need as many wards in there as possible.
Double vision.
But it looks to me like NV are sort of like trying to get a pick, but not really working out how to do it at this point. They're grouping together, they're trying to get the wards out, and they're trying a pincer maneuver here. They might be able to get this inner turret.
One of the big issues here for NV is they don't have much to siege towers with. The Draven not really offering the same kind of siege as a Caitlyn would. And that Caitlyn, by contrast, can just clear out those waves so easily with Kensti right here. So it's a big issue for NV. And you can see they move up to pressure this tower. They've got the Baron as well. And straight away, they just back away. because it's not feasible for them to do it.
Yeah, it's true. And with Rippy on this Amumu as well, has so much engage potential that they can't hang around and risk getting bandage tossed and then Curse of the Sad Mummied. And if Uber Giants Bro can sit in the back line, just like First Mate did in the last team fight, the same thing could happen, snowballing in Dignitas' favor.
Yeah, and I guess NV, as you said, they want to snowball this, but the way that they can pull that one off is kind of interesting. They need fights like that last one where Heavens has that opportunity to engage late, swing around the side and try and get all of his burst down on a carry there. We saw it in the last one. He came around, found little Uber Giant, deleted him, backed out, waited for his cooldowns to come back, and then did the same thing over and over. And that's why NV's team comp was so successful in that last fight, because they used that mobility to the best effect that they had, because Heavens arrived late when Rippy had already used his CC, Kensti and Little Uber had all used their CC. But when they're sieging towers, it's really hard to pull that one off because you're kind of forced into a 5v5 engage where you're just facing each other, and it's a little bit more awkward for NV.
All bandage shots will land.
Pekka going to take absolutely no damage.
That's true. And actually likes his chances against 3 members of Dignitas as well. So
yeah,
no fear at all coming out of Pekka Coco. And he was the one also on top of Kensti and finished him off really, really early in that last team fight as well. So Pekka Coco playing it really well as well. All of NV just... Yeah, definitely doing a lot of work. Not being a Dodo in that particular fight, please.
No. I don't know how the Dodo got into this one, except for his name.
You know, you said he was a rare bird.
There we go. So, Dignitas just defending here. And this is the game really slowing down. It was a bit of a kick in the face for Dignitas in that last fight. Looked like Dignitas for a moment there, and they need to regather their thoughts, and that's what they're doing now, kind of looking for a new angle into the game. I feel like picks are the best possible chance that they've had. They've had fantastic ward coverage this game, and so they really need to work to bring that back in. They've lost a lot of their wards, and if they could do that, they could set up a couple more picks and really start to move this game forward back into their favor, or at least back the way it was going before.
Yeah, true. And I mean, of course, the longer this game goes on as well, I mean, Dignitas is still okay with, managing to pick up that blue buff, of course, getting it over onto Kensti as well. So nothing Pekka Coco can do against 3 members.
Taking it away from Heavens really important right there as well, because you know Heavens is some of the wave clear for NV. The most of that wave clear actually with that Glitter Lance. So without the mana and the cooldown reduction, it makes Dignitas' job a little bit more easy.
Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does. Having that Athenes will help him with that mana, but having the extra cooldown reduction means those Glitter Lances are coming out 20% faster as well. So love it. Yeah, it's definitely good. Definitely going to work in their favor. But as the late game goes, Dignitas are definitely going to feel okay with drawing this game out. I mean, of course, Renekton does fall off, but Amumu is notorious just for being massive in the later ends of that game. Caitlyn scales really, really well because of her auto-attack-based team fighting and a really long range, and Kensti's always going to be able to do a lot of damage on that Syndra, and that Unleashed power is never going to be irrelevant.
Yeah, and Rippy as well went for that Sunfire Cape as you predicted, so it's good to see that one picked up. And as well as JK Smithy, there's quite a lot of AoE, just damage over time, you know, the Dominus, the tears as well coming out of Rippy during these fights. So sustained fights great for Dignitas, but here we go. Mattress goes in. Nice Cyclone to start this one up. Little Uber Giant takes a lot of damage. Hook from Delta Freeze and Flame missing. Little Uber taking a lot of damage. The fight is grouped up though. Will they be able to find it? Nice Curse of the Sand Mummy coming out. The fight looks like it's in NV's favor right here. Dignitas just falling over. Mattress will go down as well. It's a double kill here for First Mate. Another hook onto JK Smithy. Uber Giant and JK the only ones left alive.
Oh, no.
NV, can they find it? Oh, it's Dignitas that pull it around for an ace. Triple kill onto JK Smithy. What a fight.
And that's what happens when you leave Uber Giants Bro alive. He was just in the backline, auto-attacking, and he had his barrier to use at exactly the right time in that fight. The flash forward there by First Mate in order to try and burst him down, but he had the barrier and First Mate didn't. So Uber Giants Bro won that duel and then was able to do enough DPS in order to take everyone down. They might be able to get this inhibitor turret.
Wow, what a play from these guys. That is synergy at its finest. Not to back out there, most players would have been so scared in that situation because if that fight was an ace on the Dignitas, they would have lost the base and that would have been devastating. But they turned it around. That's incredible.
That's really true, and we were talking about this as well. I mean, Frenetic Array of old, not when they were not Dignitas yet, their team fight control was just fantastic. I mean, we're not talking about like having these wombo combo teams that just want to like use their ultimates and just get them in the right spot. But in a team fight, their ability to call out targets and make sure that they're going to win the fight once it's already begun has been a massive, massive thing that they've been fantastic at.
Yeah, and that communication is an interesting thing to touch on here. I think we're going to have to wait, though, because the Baron looks like it's going to start up here. Flay or rather the hook missing from Delta Freeze. No death sentences there. The Baron does get started off. Mattress goes in, does get a Cyclone, not really doing much for his team. JK Smithy, though, takes a lot of damage, will go down. Shutdown kill there for Draven. He has picked up so much gold now from his passive as well. Has that Infinity Edge, and NV are going to get this Baron, I think.
Yeah, well, it's now 4v5, and they've lost their big tank in Renekton.
Rippy missed his Q as well. They're pushing them off it, though. Little Uber's going to get engaged on Pekka Coco, taking a lot of damage. Unleash the power, destroys him. Great ultimate from Rippy as well. They're just going straight into this fight. Frenetic Array looking to close this one out. Kensti and Uber Giants, bro, both with double kills. 3 for 3.
3 for 3, so 2 people alive on both sides, but Uber Giants Bro and Kensti definitely have way more damage than Mattress and Heavens at this point in the game. And I mean, especially having Uber Giants Bro alive, NV cannot do anything right now, and it's definitely taking them off this Baron.
Oh, Heavens.
Oh, here's the 1v1.
Oh, that's a big shield right there. Can Heavens keep it up, though? Oh, I think Kensti's going to want to back out from this one. He doesn't have his ultimate, doesn't have that Unleash the Doug Trio.
Unleash the Doug Trio, of course. Uber Giants Bro now trying to get this inhibitor, though.
Not going to find it just yet. Heavens managed to get that tower. Ignite has gone down as well. Kensti, oh, he's in big trouble. Will go down to that Lichbane hit. Good play from Heavens, but Uber Giants, bro, he's just chilling, just shooting his gun.
Yeah, no problem at all. Has that Banshee's Veil in order to stop the first little bit of harass too, so he's just going to wander away calmly.
That's got to be the most calm inhibitor kill I think I've seen in a while.
Yeah, especially when there's a big angry monkey there as well.
Just chilling, just watching. He's like, oh,
no problem.
Watching the inhibitor go down.
I got a 90 caliber net, don't even worry about it.
Wow. So that's going to be an interesting trade there. So mid laner dying, Kensti going down that top lane, but inhibitor is the trade. Question is, Envy, the only way they can capitalize off that is with that Baron. They've got about 20 seconds until Kensti's alive, and then maybe another 5 or 6 for Kensti to start getting close to that Baron. So Envy are going to go for it here. The question is, can Dignitas defend in the 4v5 situation? Again, Rippy has that Banshee's Veil. He has a Smite as well. This could be it. Hook gonna miss. Are they gonna go for it? Great Cyclone from Mattress, and the follow from Pekka Coco is great as well. Little Uber taking a lot of damage. Does get the Soul Shackle off. Mattress needs to run. Rippy does go down. NV already picking up a kill. Great hook onto the AD carry. JK Smithy gonna go down as well. And that's a double kill for First Mate right there. Brilliant fight for Team NV. They pick up 4 kills.
And they utilized... Oh my goodness, everyone going so low on the side of NV, but keeping First Mate alive, and everyone peeled for him. You saw Mattress come out of that fight just to destroy Rippy so he could let First Mate get back into that fight and get as much auto-attack damage off. He has that Phantom Dancer, Infinity Edge, Bloodthirster, and Last Whisper combination. He is doing so much damage, and we saw just there how effective it can be in these team fights.
And what a turnaround as well. NV, they capitalized off that. We saw them lose the inhibitor, and we're like, oh, that's a big loss right there. But that one kill from Kensti, such a small mechanical fault in that top lane to stay around a little bit too long, and they've lost a Baron, they've lost a Dragon, and a huge amount of momentum in this game.
Yeah, and that's why it's important to have Heaven's Curse on your team, because he's known for being able to outplay the majority of mid laners. So in that 1v1 situation, of course, Kensti not quite managing to come out on top, and Heaven's taking that one. And that secured them that Baron. You're absolutely right.
So what's next here? Dignitas probably going to have to defend right here, but we've seen how hard it is for NV to siege right now. And that's why we're seeing a 6-3 tower lead for Dignitas. It's pretty tough for NV. What's next for them?
Well, NV needs to keep winning these fights. They're doing really, really well if they can get into an area and fight over an objective that doesn't have a tower there to really smack you down. So they don't want to get into these siege situations, but they want to be able to capitalize on really, really good team fights that they can spawn from different ways. So no Dragon available, no Baron available. I think we're going to see them potentially try and split push, try and get that vision back up. Of course, only 2 wards on the map now for NV. So they need to get these wards out, need to get this vision back in their favor.
Yeah, the only issue I see right here is that Pekka Coco, if he wants to split push, we're going to see that 4v4 engage again between these two teams. And it just works out so well here. Rippy able to lock them down without that Shyvana to jump into the team. Because Shyvana's that one champion you really just can't lock down in these fights. If she does die early, as we saw earlier on at the Baron, ate that Unleash the Power from Kensti, and Pekka Coco just wasn't around anymore. The fight wasn't a big deal for Dignitas to clean up here, so Pekka Coco is really crucial in these fights right now, and I don't think he can split push. It's a bit risky for him.
Yeah, it's definitely true, and Mattress is built almost 100% magic resist as well, so he's not going to be able to tank the damage of Uber Giants Bro at all. I mean, you need to have that Randuin's Omen in the fight. You need to have the Sunfire Cape and the Ninja Tabi in order to really tank out that damage and get in his face. The Blade of the Ruined King also being available for Pekka Coco means that he can get on top of Uber Giants Bro, even though he has so many escapability maneuvers.
Alrighty, so game's slowing down a little bit here. 67,000 gold to about 67,000. 600 gold the difference, couple of wards.
Oh, here's the
There we
fight.
go, little Uber gets knocked up. A lot of skills used, and he goes down straight away in the fight. Unleash the Power was used on Mattress as well, and all of the Uber
Whirling
Giants
Blades.
needing to run here. Rippy, great ultimate, but it's only going to be for Disengage right now. Jumps back to Mattress as well with the bandage toss. First mate in the front of the fight right here, and NV just cleaning it up. Great hook, and that's going to be 3 kills for Team NV. Heavens with the flash. Can he get the kill? No, he won't. Uber Giants, bro, gets away, but it will be enough for Team NV. They're going to get that mid tower. They're going to move on for the second as well. This will surely be the base.
This is precisely what we were talking about, the fact that they needed to get a pick, and of course Pekka Coco just dragons descenting on top of everyone in Dignitas, and because he has that burnout, he has the availability of so much movement speed, he could just get on top of them, start that fight, and really put it in their favor. The Curse of the Sad Mummy basically did nothing because it was too late.
Another hook onto Uber Giants, bro, and he just gets melted. So does Rippy as well, and in game 2, it's NV taking out the Nexus. They will be moving on to Supernova as the prime spot out of Group B. What a series from these guys, and they've done it. The Nexus does go down.
Absolutely incredible place. That was ridiculous. They got exactly what they needed. They understood their team comp, knew that they couldn't siege. They found the team fight that they needed, and then just pushed it all the way home and took the victory. I mean, it's so textbook. And Envy just displaying the fact that they have been around for a long time. They know exactly how to play this game out, and they understood that the team that they were fighting against too.
And the thing I love the most is NV stepping up. That kind of team comp is something that historically Oceanic teams don't really do that well with. Teams that can't siege usually take a very long time to close out the game, but NV found all the picks that they needed, the angles into the game, and they really just pulled off a satisfying win for them. And what a way to get into Supernova as well. They're going to the Gold Coast to fight that one out in the round of 4 to move on to potentially the Grand Finals and the Autumn Regional victory.
Yeah, our second people alongside Immunity as well. So Immunity and Team NV, of course, going through that. We are going to be finding out who's going to be joining them when Little Wraith do take on Avant-Garde Ascension coming straight up after this.
So don't go anywhere, guys. That match will be coming up soon. Stay with us here at the Regionals. Let's do it.
Hey, beautiful.
We still on for dinner?
Pepper, 9 o'clock. Ha!
9 o'clock, right?
How about 8:30 at the vegan place?
Actually, I'm in the mood for barbecue.
Sounds good.
Take a call and stay in the game. With the Plantronics rig, headset, and mixer, life comes to games like never before.
Welcome back here to the regionals, guys, and next game coming up is Avant-Garde Ascension taking on Team Little Wraith, and it is for the second seed out of Group A as well. So these guys fighting for qualification and elimination here at the regionals to move on to Supernova.
Yeah, and it's very, very exciting because we're going to be seeing both of these type fights. You know, last time it was one of them's going to ascend and the other one was going to just go into the lower bracket. But now we're seeing either you go through or you're out. I mean, this is do or die right now.
So let's take a look at our featured player for this matchup. See what they've got for us. Oh, Shelby and Carbon into the jungle here. Look at those assists on Carbon. What a team player right there. I'm just so ecstatic about that. And the picks as well. Lee Sin. Oh,
yeah.
man.
I think this is the battle of the Lee Sin players now place.
Yeah.
I mean, Carbon and Shelby both just massive on those champions. Shelby, of course, that we've been seeing recently playing that Lee Sin has been magnanimous on that champion and just so capable. Like, as you can see by the fact that his deaths are a little bit higher, he just wants to go in as often as possible. He's so aggressive on that Lee Sin. And I think we're likely to see a ban of this champion just because both of these players just should not get it because they're so good.
And I think the ban will be coming out of Little Wraith here. They're going to be on purple side for the first team or red side for the first game, whichever you decide to call it there. And so banning that one out so the blue side can't first pick, it's going to be smart there. At least in a very strong first pick as well. But Champ Select's coming up in a moment, guys, so let's get into it. Oh, there it is, right in.
Good timing that plays.
Yeah, a little bit faster. So, all right, Morgana going to be that first ban.
Yeah, taking that away from Cardred and Erect Gymnast. Erect Gymnast, of course, has been playing that Morgana so incredibly well. So getting those black shields just exactly on the right time. So, and then the response ban of the Caitlyn, I very much like it.
Alrighty, so with the Caitlyn ban, I'm expecting a Sivir first pick here from Little Wraith. It
yeah.
works fantastically with their objective play here. The extra speed, great for those rotations. And I would be very surprised if Little Wraith don't first pick that one, considering Avant have banned out that Caitlyn for him.
Yeah, Zig's getting taken away from Choo Choo's as well. And getting that Caitlyn taken away from Little Wraith is massive as well, placed, because they utilize the range on Caitlyn in order to siege down as many turrets as possible all game long. That's all they want to be doing, and we know that Little Wraith just love to be taking objective after objective. So having Caitlyn, the massive tower pusher that she is, out of the pool is just fantastic on the side of Avant-Garde.
Yeah, and Lulu the next ban as well there, so they don't want BHZ in that bottom lane picking that up. Or in the mid lane, Space Kitten, who is in the wrong spot because Keen is actually their mid laner.
Yeah, of course. So just a little bit of a mess up there as far as their positioning is concerned.
Or free lobby, I guess.
Yeah, we'll have a chat to them afterwards and make sure that they get a real slap on their wrist.
Him.
Oh, brilliant. See, it was all worth it in the end, everybody.
Nailed it. All right, so Rise is the last ban as well, and I did not expect this ban. That's something we see banned against Heaven's Curse, but not something we see banned against Keen at all.
Yeah, so Keen may have been picking that one up in scrims as well, so utilizing the fact that he's seen Heaven's Curse play it so much, possibly being beaten by it a lot, so now utilizing that one itself, but
they've left the Kassadin open, and it's being hovered right here. And this is something that Keen does play.
Yeah, that's true. Keen has played that Kassadin and to great effect as well. They're going to lock that one in.
Okay, so first or second Kassadin, I believe, of the regionals so
Elise being left open there.
It will get locked in by Carbon. Carbon loves that. That means probably the Lee Sin will be picked up here for Space Kitten. It's something that Space Kitten, otherwise known as Shelby, if you've been watching this team for a while, is fantastic at. I believe it's becoming a thing, actually, for the pro scene. A lot of guys saying, hey, if you're not Spooks or Shelby, you don't play Lee Sin because you just can't match the finesse that they play it at.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of them just so adept at that champion. And the Sivir and Elise now being locked in on the side of Avant-Garde, really making use of the fact that there are some unconventional bans coming through, and Sivir and Elise both really, really powerful.
Yeah, and the unconventional bans, as you said, were a huge mind game right here because we're seeing Avant-Garde Ascension. First ban on that Caitlyn, not that Kassadin, says, Little Wraith, you got a choice. You take Sivir or Kassadin, and we'll take the other one here. So it's Avant-Garde Ascension really forcing the hand of Little Wraith because they know how strong those two picks are. They end up with the Sivir pick and the Elise, which is fantastic for Avant-Garde Ascension. They've played this first stage of Champ Select fantastically.
Yeah, that's very, very true. That being said, I mean, this Renekton pickup that they're hovering over on Little Wraith, if that gets locked in, I'll be very, very happy because having a really dominant top laner, and there's basically no one that's going to be able to take down a Renekton 1v1. I mean, we've heard, you know, Shen is a decent counter, but he's not going to be able to kill Renekton. He's just able to stay in that lane and weather the storm and then become a much more powerful split pusher later. Earlier on in the game, though, Renekton is going to be really, really strong, and so it's going to be able to draw the jungle pressure away from the Kassadin lane, which is so vulnerable early on.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, on a bigger level here, it's going to help. It's going to be a staple in that top lane that's going to be solid, keeping Kassadin safe here. The Lucian lock-in strong as well. Very standard AD carry pickup with this style of team. Going to put a lot more wave clear in. That's essential with that Kassadin as well. You don't have that mid lane AP carry to help you out there, so it would have either been that Lucian or the Caitlyn, but of course Caitlyn was banned out here. So only really that one choice there for Stars as the AD carry. But the next two lock-ins, is it a Yasuo? I'm going to be so hyped for this one because it's against a Kassadin as well.
That's so true, and it is. It's happening. Choo-Choo's on that Yasuo as well, and we've spoken about this so many times. He plays Poke or Assassin, and this is definitely Assassin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow, I cannot wait for the final breaths on top of the Kassadins potentially and anything coming out. Are we going to see, I mean, you can also have Flays that can counts as a knock-up, so you can get that Last Breath ultimate on Yasuo straight in on top of people. I mean, Erectionist is going to be able to utilize that one. Are they going to have possibly a pick in this top lane that's going to have a knock-up available? Dragon's Descent does do it.
We'll have to wait and see what the pickup there is. Looking back to Choo-Choo's, though, of course, they banned out his Ziggs, and honestly, Ziggs is the only poke champion that's been working here at the regionals because of his wave clear rather than his poke. So I feel the Assassins are the way to go, and for someone like Choo-Choo's, who's very polarizing with his champion pool, either all Assassins, all poke, it's definitely great to pick that poke champion there. So the Yasuo pick's fantastic. Lee Sin going to be the lock-in here for Chelby as well. Not surprised to see that. Going to be important to help out Kassadin in the middle lane.
Yeah, it definitely is. Having a really strong early game jungler is really, really important.
They lock it in.
Especially if you have a Kassadin on your team. So that's really, really cool. I like the Annie pickup as well. BH said picking that one up to go with that Lucian as well, so you can really outrange the Thresh and just harass him all day. And it's no worries at all. He comes in then, you can just stun him and wander off. So it's fine.
And this lane going to be very strong as well against the Sivir and the Lucian.
Oh, yeah.
Annie with that Lucian. Usually the counter to this Sivir Thresh lane we'll see is the Caitlyn Annie. But of course, Caitlyn's banned out, so they need to go for that Lucian instead. It's not quite as good, but it's very close here. And I think for Little Wraith with that Lee Sin as well, this bottom lane is going to be a pretty interesting one to watch. I feel like it will be a stalemate, though.
I think it's definitely going to be a skill matchup here in the bottom lane, possibly just a farm off. And you might see, of course, Stars utilizing that slight range advantage against Sivir. Sivir, of course, a fairly low range AD carry, so struggles a little bit in the early stages of the game. But later on, having that on the hunt is going to be so important, especially with this Trundle, which is an incredibly exciting pickup. I love that. I mean, they did have the option of going for Shyvana, and Shyvana would have been great too, but having Trundle, who scales even harder into the late game than a Shyvana does, it's going to be massive. You see this troll just running around like a beast in the later starts of this game.
So did you know, Atlas? I'm going to do this thing again.
Yep.
When Trundle puts his Pillar of Filth down, if you're standing exactly where it... Pillar of Ice. Well, if you're standing exactly where it comes out, it knocks you up and Yasuo can actually ult you off it.
Is that true?
Yes, it's like
I knew that happened if you were right on top of it, but I didn't know that counted as an actual knockup.
It does. It knocks you off it.
That's very cool.
I wonder if it happens with an Anivia wall as well. I'm going to try that sometime. But
so what we were saying that the top laner needs to have a knockup, so definitely has a knockup.
They chose the hardest possible one they could go for, but they got it. All right.
Yeah, that's fine.
But it's all about the speed, and that's what's important here. They got the Sivir as well, and so speed is essential against a Kassadin. You can keep the fights mobile and kind of compete with what Kassadin's bringing to the table here. And Lee Sin that Little Wraith managed to pick up as well there for Space Kitten or Chelby in that jungle. So that was a fantastic pick and ban phase though from Avantgarde Ascension.
I think both teams went really, really well in the pick and ban phase. They both got what they wanted to do down. It's just now to see which team can utilize it to the greatest effect.
Yeah.
I really like AV's team comp, like you said, though, because I love the on-the-hunt combination with Trundle. And seeing a Yasuo just makes me really, really happy. Watching that, guys, is so much potential for really flashy plays, and hopefully we see them come out.
So I believe Avantgarde Ascension's sister team, Avantgarde Redemption, I think their coach/analyst is Intrepid. Not too sure if that's the case for Avantgarde Redemption or if that's happening, but if it is, you got to give props to whoever Avantgarde Redemption's analyst is, because I feel a lot of work went into this pick and ban phase here. That first ban on Caitlyn really just dictated the rest, you know, all 10 champion picks and all 5 other bans. So I'm very impressed with what Avant-Garde Ascension have done at that pick and ban stage. They picked up a fantastic team comp as well. They forced the hand of Keen to pick up that Cassidy. And Cassidy, or rather Keen, has a lot to live up to here now. He's been forced onto the Cassidy. So
yeah, we'll see whether he can utilize that to the potential
to
that it has. Yeah, absolutely. We'll see whether he can do it. But I really want to get into this game. How you
so
feeling,
do I.
Blaze?
Let's get into the game here, guys. Going straight into game number 1 of this matchup. We are onto the Rift here for game number 1 of Little Ray taking on Avant-Garde. Elimination and qualification. It's down to the wire here. One team will be going to Supernova at the end of this series, and one will be going home.
Yeah, of course, Little Wraith here on the blue side. Avant-Garde Ascension here on our red side. Game 1 here of this best of 3, and everything, as you said, Place, is on the line. We'll see what's going to happen in this early phase. And it looks like Little Wraith are grouping up a little bit, but I think it's going to be defensive.
And Avant-Garde in the line for their 5-man defense.
Yep. So we're going to have Chelby, a.k.a. Space Kitten, here in the mid lane, just cruising around, and the rest of Little Wraith going to be hanging out at their red buff. So not really too much action going on here, but these lanes are really, really exciting, all of them. Minky-Well on this Trundle versus Renekton often gets decimated early on in this game, but there's going to be a point around about level 12. It's not quite like Shyvana, which is about level 9 when you really start to overtake that Renekton. About level 12 that if you've gone even in lane, or if you're still up to par, you're going to overtake that Renekton. So in this early stage, Minky-Well is going to be in a lot of trouble in this top lane against this Renekton, but we'll see what he can do and whether he can possibly at least get enough farm to stay in it. And this mid lane, so exciting. Yasuo versus this Cassidy.
Yeah, and you see, now that I've had a little bit of time to think about that Trundle pick, I'm not sure if I'm a fan of it anymore. I feel like there's just way too much dashing ability coming out of Little Wraith here. That Pillar of Filth, not really going to be that effective. You've got Space Kitten, just jumps with his W there. Stars as well. Annie, really the only player here for Little Wraith that's going to get caught out from that one. And off the back of that, Avant aren't picking up a poke comp here, so that's usually where we see that Trundle picked up. So it's a little bit of an interesting one. I think I would have preferred a Shyvana pick.
Yeah, I guess Minky-Well probably just a little bit more comfortable on this Trundle. He has played a lot of Shyvana, though. You're absolutely correct. So that Shyvana pickup could have been still strong, but I think that Trundle, if he holds onto his Pillar of Ice for long enough, will be able to get it in the right spot. And the fact that he has on the hunt in order to get into the backline of these fights is really important too.
Alrighty, so early game will dictate a lot in this one, I feel, is what we're getting at here. BH said, nice stun, just throwing down the damage. Showing a wreck Jimus who's boss.
Yeah, and they're getting a nice amount of poke here. We'll see who manages to make it to level 2 first and really put their foot down as far as this pressure is concerned.
Yeah, it'll be a bit interesting there. Cardred as well.
Oh, there it is, level 2 landed for Little Wraith.
And Avant-Garde respond. And there's a quick pause. So straight back to us on camera here as we're very quickly getting into this game here for game number 1. And not too much to really talk about.
Not all that much to report. I mean, we do have a Spell Thief's Edge being picked up here from BHZ or Trash Boat on that Thresh. So I'm unable to actually check, but that's one of the items that I definitely remembered and wanted to have a chat about. So that one being a lot more popular recently than it has been in the past. So it's exciting to see that one. Also, the gold regen, the gold generation, on that item is just so much higher than it used to be. But yeah, we're back into the game. I can stop talking about dumb gold regeneration items.
Alrighty, so just quick pause there. BHZ. Great flay and hook just missing. That would have been so much damage if the death sentence landed as well. Might have even been the death.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, sentencing to death, but unable to actually get the sentence approved there, apparently. The boomerang coming through as well, unable to finish off BHZ on that one too. So just going to chill out, chug some potions there in the bottom lane, and Annie's just going to be okay here.
Alrighty, so let's look at Keen here. Needs to be playing at his best in this matchup. Was forced onto the Cassidy to some extent here, and so, you know, from that we might say, oh, he gets a bit of leeway. He was forced on the Cassidy, but it's kind of the other way around. He has to play even better here.
Yeah, it's true. So we'll see whether Keen actually wanted to play it or whether it's something that he's been forced to, because this early game will definitely dictate that. How much he can stay in this game in the early stages is really important.
All right, Keen going to put down some big damage there. Carbon coming over as well. King needs to run. Still has the flash there. We're going to look at bottom lane for a little bit because the camera doesn't want to see first blood, but it will be going down there. It's going to be Choo-Choo's picking it up. Space Kitten wants to respond in this bottom lane now.
The flash.
Great stun from BHZ. The flay to follow. Erect Gymnast forced to flash. Great hook on the Space Kitten as well. Will Thresh fall here? He will. Great auto attack from BHZ. Hits him from the side, and Stars might go down as well. Great barrier keeps him alive. He stepped back. He flashed forward, but the rest of Avant-Garde are coming across as well. Nice cocoon comes through. Oh, kills everywhere here for Avant-Garde, and it's 3-for-1 at the end of the day. Wow, what an early game to start off with.
That is ridiculous. Having 2 kills already on Choo-Choo's at 4.5 minutes into this game on a Yasuo is absolutely ridiculous, and it's precisely what Avant-Garde wanted at the start of this game, to really make sure the Little Wraith are on the back foot and they could dictate the action, because they have these abilities like On the Hunt. They want to be making the moves, and now they're definitely in the right spot to do that.
Huge stuff right there for Avant-Garde to open up this game. We'll see if they can keep it snowballing. That's going to be important there. Off the back of this, though, Keen has got a lot of free farm in the mid lane. It's going to help him out with this early game.
Yeah, and Minky Well in the top lane here against Colo, managing to actually take it toe-to-toe. They're definitely very, very close on CS, and as we just saw, we're able to trade fairly effectively against each other. Colo going in again, has made to level 5 first.
Oh, look at that chunking damage coming out onto Mickey Well. Ignite is available as well. Actually, it's Choo-Choo's in the middle lane, putting down some big damage on a Keen. Gets 2 crits in that fight as well there. Colo taking a tower shot, but Mickey Well so low. Has Carbon as well. Colo needs to be careful. There it is. Great cocoon over the wall. Going to buy time for Mickey Well, but Colo's still going for it. He's in over his head right here. Here's Space Kitten. Great dodge from Mickey. Is it enough? Colo with the flash will get out. A great flash from Mickey as well. These top laners just showing off the mechanics right now, and it's all about the junglers. Carbon and Space Kitten, oh, they trade skill shots. Space Kitten's going to go for a Pillar of Ice. Oh no, he locked in his teammate right there. It's not what he wanted, but it's Space Kitten on the run right here. Jumps out with a safeguard. Big display of mechanics right there all over the top lane.
Yeah, everyone trying to go with aggression and defense at exactly the same time. And Minky Whale going down so incredibly low probably could have been a lot more help if Colo hadn't have managed to get him there so much in the early stages of that fight. But really, really nice play and nice dodging skills. So much juking going around.
Yeah, juke shoes are on.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we like to see here. Keen as well. Having a fairly good early game, I have to say here. 26 CS to about 38. Only about 12 different. Not too much of a big deal for him.
Yeah, has gone down for first blood, though, so Choo-Choo's picking up that little bit of extra money there and definitely has the power in this lane.
You can see that harass coming out, that force pulse into the silence. Doing some good work there.
Yeah, no, that's really true. The unfortunate thing about having a Kassadin against a Yasuo is the fact that you can't utilize your passive, which does give you a little bit of extra magic resist.
Yeah, that's true.
So you're not really quite able to be the mage killer that you want to be, especially with the fact that Avant-Garde don't have any mages on their team at all unless you count Elise.
Yeah, maybe we'll count Elise. She does a fair bit of base magic damage there, but you're right, you know, no AP carry here. And that's something I maybe didn't consider enough there.
Oh,
Choo-Choo's as well. Just finding a kill. Keen as well in trouble. Carbon's out of mana. Can he find this one, though? Doesn't have the repel just yet.
Yeah,
so a
use
quick
that one
catch
to
for
engage.
Choo-Choo's.
Yeah, we didn't actually see what happened there, but Space Kitten going down into that bottom going down to that bottom lane. Choo-Choo's just happy to roam all day, every day on this Yasuo.
So, bottom tower as well, going to be chunked here. Already about half health, so Erect, Gymnast, and Kadra doing a good job in this bottom lane.
Yeah, definitely. And on this this Sivir as well, I mean, very, very good at shoving, but often it's going to be very hard to trade in lane. So utilizing the fact that you can shove, and Lucian's forced to then farm under tower and can't focus on poking you from afar.
So, Colo, Minky Whale, just still going at it in this top lane, pushing minions right here. 1,000 gold the difference between these two teams already, so Avant-Garde Ascension really ascending out of the early game fairly well right now.
Yeah, and I think Choo-Choo's is definitely, he's pointed his train up at this point because they are definitely ascending on the back of this guy. That Yasuo, massive at this point. 3-0-0 with that Zeal now picked up as well. 54 CS, just really stamping his mark on this game. And I think we're looking at him to really carry this one through.
Yeah, probably carry it with the Minky Rail there as well.
Yeah.
Choo-Choo's on the Minky Rail is how Avant-Garde Ascension do it.
Yeah, that's how they do it. That's definitely how they do it.
Well, that's
straight
how
up.
here.
Straight up. Don't even worry about it. Wow. We got to talk to Mind Freak about you know, why it went over to Ascension. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Should have been. Nah, I'm not even going to go there.
Let's not talk about it.
And Avant-Garde going to take a great early dragon here. 8 minutes 30. A little bit more on point to what we've been seeing at the regional. 7 to 9 minutes is that bracket. We see that first dragon go down. So Avant-Garde Ascension, good rotation there. Pretty easy dragon. could see Cassidy in that top lane as well. So Mickey Whale might be paying the price for this one. Pillar of Ice goes down. Look at the damage on a Mickey Whale. Puts down the Subjugate. Not going to be enough. Easy kill there for Little Wraith. But, I mean, they trade the Dragon for it. Maybe this top tower. Is it worth it?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say it necessarily is at this point, just because they haven't actually got the tower down just yet, and also Kian lost so many creeps to that middle lane turret as well. And Choo-Choo's got a free back. He's still got permanent pressure in that middle lane, so they didn't necessarily need to have 3 people roam up to that top lane. I don't think Kian was all that necessary in that particular fight, so he could have been there to pick up the experience and not fallen as far behind as he is currently against Choo-Choo's.
There we go. Choo-Choo's putting some damage down onto Keen. Unfortunately, he's not quite tanky enough to dive just yet, so he's forced to poke and then just chill outside that tower range right there. But a Wreck Gymnast going for a hook, throws it out, misses Stars. A little bit unfortunate there for him. Olben, wow, big engage in the middle lane. Keen will go down, minion auto attack, and Ignite will do it. And it, wow, will be a kill for Choo-Choo's.
Yeah, trading 1 for 1 there. I wonder what happened actually at the start of that fight, whether or not Choo-Choo's took tower damage or not, because... I
feel he must have.
It's unlikely that he would generally go down that low against the fact that Cassidy only had a tier at that stage.
Cameraman needs to step up his game this time.
Yeah,
Missing a lot of kills.
We'll talk to him. We'll talk to him about it. Don't worry, we'll be back. But Static Shiv now being finished up by Choo-Choo's, that's absolutely ridiculous. The amount of burst damage he's going to have with that first auto attack is going to be huge.
Yeah, and I mean, 4-1 already is a fantastic score, and this is the prime situation. You know, you pick your assassin into that Cassidy mid lane, and you do well. That's the best outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got to really remember though that Little Wraith, the early game is going to be really, really difficult for them. So if Kian, because he picked up a kill, like he's now 2-2-0.
Yeah, I think that's the point though, is that, you know, while Choo-Choo's has done really well, Keen has done well as well. As we say that, he takes a lot of damage. Choo-Choo's needs to run. Space Kitten going for it. One more will do it. He finds the kill there. Cassidy gets the assist as well. Has to flash out, so Space Kitten lives, and Carbon still low here. Will Keen go for it? I feel like he wants to. Mickey taking a lot of damage in this top lane. Colo going for it. Pops the Dominus. There was the kill in the mid lane. Keen went down to Thresh right there. Colo on the run.
Oh,
Great
Minky.
flash from Minky Whale. Finds the kill.
And it's so hard to 1v1 a Trundle. I mean, this is level 8. He's managed to pick up his Chain Vest and his Giant's Belt, so because he gets percentage of health back from when things die in that top lane, he now just has so much more of a health pool. And that was ridiculous. Look at how far behind he is in CS, and that Tiamat just not enough to snowball Colo in that lane.
So they're going to have to fix that one up if they want to keep moving through here. Hook missing as well.
Close.
A Wreck Gymnast looking a little bit flustered in this lane, actually. Been missing a lot of these skill shots.
Yeah, has managed to come through and get that roam off into the mid lane, which is definitely speaking to his favor, but not quite able to land the death sentences that are generally going to be sentencing death in this bottom lane.
Yeah. And I guess the pressure can get to these guys. I mean, it's elimination here. It's not where you want to be. But at the same time, it should be a little bit more happy and joyous because it's also for qualification. It's a very rough game for these guys and rough series to be in.
Oh yeah, there is so much on the line at this stage, and we'll just have to see. That Sunfire Cape now being finished up by Minky Whale, so has a lot of ability to really stand up in that lane against Colo. Even though he has gone down once, he managed to win that 1v1, which is so impressive.
So, Space Kitten in a 1v1 with Choo-Choo's. Choo-Choo's definitely putting down the damage here. Going to back out, get that pink ward. But won't be finding any more aggression here. Keen roam, a little bit scary there. And Colo pushing up right now. Mickey Whale starting to scale here. He's got that Sunfire Cape and just putting down that damage now.
Yeah, you can see when he's close to Colo, he's doing so much damage with that Sunfire Cape just because there is a massively offensive build that's been built here by this Renekton. So it's very difficult now for him to really mitigate because Minky Whale's still doing lots of damage, but he has so much armor and health.
Alrighty, so Erect Gymnast and Kadra, they've been working on this tower for a while now, haven't found it. We're at that 13-minute mark as well, so mid-game is very quickly approaching, and I think in about a minute and a half when this Dragon comes out, oh, great juke from Keen there as well as we go through this one. Will Space Kitten follow it though, actually? Carbon needs to run. But yeah, in a minute 20, when the Dragon spawns, what are we expecting from these guys in the bottom lane?
I think there's definitely going to be some contention here for Dragon. It's not going to be one of those situations where we see Avant-Garde being able to pick that one up for free. They don't necessarily have the timer, though, on the side of Little Wraith. So because Avant-Garde had such good vision when they took it, Little Wraith, they're trying to circle around. I think that was why Colo had moved down to this middle lane, because he didn't quite realize that the Dragon hadn't been taken at that stage, so he thought that it was possibly coming up very, very soon.
So a quick pause as these guys sort out a couple of issues between them. And, you know, we take a look at this early game, and it's kind of gone as expected there. We've seen the side of Avant-Garde Ascension really take out an early lead here. And, you know, has it been enough though against this Kassadin pick?
I think it's been quite a largely that they've actually taken out, and the fact that Choo Choo's has gotten so powerful in that mid lane. I mean, we've seen in the last couple of engagements he got a little bit too overexcited. But if this Yasuo manages to keep scaling, because he's still huge in the later sides of this game, so we'll see whether he can really bring it to Kassadin later on.
And we're back into the Rift. Carbon takes a lot of damage there as well, but we're going to look at top lane because Kolo's getting pushed in. Tower low as well. Can Minky Whale pick it up on this wave? They're going to need it. Space Kitten with the juke shoes. Oh, there's a great engage off the hook. Tippers misses as well from BHZ. That's a huge mechanical fall right there. King coming in as well. Picks up a kill. BHZ now on the run. Trying to find a kill onto Choo Choo's, but it's just not going to happen. Double kill though for Keen, and it's a 2-for-2 overall. Little Wraith, I think they came out ahead in that.
Yeah, Keen now coming in, and he's got his Rift Walk. He's able to get around, and he's starting to do so much damage. Picked up the Haunting Guys now.
Oh, man.
On top of that tier, so he's really starting to be able to chase down these people.
Yeah, looking for it here. A little bit low on mana, and those ultimate stacks have built up. But wow, what an explosive way to come out of a pause right there. 14 minutes, and now it's 9-6 here in the favor of Avant-Garde Ascension. But that was a 2-for-2, and Keen picked up a double kill. How does that change the momentum?
Well, it's looking like Kassadin's really starting to roll into this game as well. Picked up the Home Guard boots on top of his Sork shoes, so he's going to be able to get around this map and really back and fill up his mana as quickly as possible as well. Oh, here the Ignite going down the top lane.
Minky has no mana.
Yeah, Subjugate is down.
I don't think he wants to fight this one.
Especially not with Keen.
And now Minky Whale's on the run right here. He's way too heavy to walk or swim away from this one. He is a whale, of course, so Kolo picks up that kill there with Keen.
Yeah, very nice work. Kolo managed to pick that one up. Had the Dominus still available as well, so it was a little bit of an over-aggressive maneuver there by Minky Whale.
BHZ, little over your head there with that dragon, but that's the second free dragon that Avant-Garde Ascension have picked up.
Yeah, so that actually could have been it. I mean, we might have had Minky Whale actually baiting that one out a little bit, trying to draw someone into that top lane so that they knew that they could get a free dragon. I mean, that might be giving me a little bit too much credit, but it could definitely be an option. So it worked out in the favor of Avant-Garde in the end.
Yeah, it looked like a communication error, but of course, what do I know?
Exactly. They might just be...
Yeah, it was a next level play. They knew it was going to happen.
It's so far ahead that it feels like they're behind.
That didn't even make sense, Atlas. But
exactly. I think that's the point, let's be honest.
They're just working on this bottom lane again. I mean, Erect, Gymnast, and Kadra, they're like, hey, we want a lane because we just want CS right here. And I guess it's kind of working out for them. They're doing fantastic in this lane, but Stars isn't really phased. He's keeping up with a CS, and he's actually ahead.
Yeah, he's doing really, really well. Has that Bloodthirster finished off. Is up by about a longsword, even though the Berserker's Greaves are finished off here by Cardred on that Sivir as well. So really doing okay in this lane. And it was picked up so that it could really try and counter out this.
Uh-oh, Choo Choo's in trouble. Gets stun locked. Carbon comes in as well. Nice cocoon from Carbon.
Really, really nice cocoon. Just before Kolo made it through the wind wall. So... able just to make sure that nothing actually happened, and Choo Choo's able to get out of this one as well. Minky Whale going to take this top lane turret for free as well, and Kolo's roams have just not really netted him anything this game. He's come down, he got a little bit of damage onto Choo Choo's and forced him out of lane, but that's absolutely it. And they've lost both dragons and now the top turret as well.
Yeah, and when we saw that first dragon go down, the response from Little Wraith was to take the top tower. Now that Minky Whale's taken his own, that early game trade that we saw so long ago is evened out, and Avant... overall, we're looking big here, have taken the lead because they got the second dragon as well.
Oh, King got caught.
And it's going to take a lot of damage there. Crit comes down as well. Choo Choo's, one more Q will knock him up. There it is. Does get the shutdown kill. Great little 1v1 from Choo Choo's. But, as I was saying, it was Avant-Garde Ascension playing the long game. They looked for the dragons because they respawned.
Yeah, that's really true. So Avant-Garde really wanted to solidify their lead early, and that was very unfortunate. Keen actually backing a little bit too close to the enemy turret.
In the shop.
Yeah, I think he was shopping, so not quite able to get the Rift Walk off just in time, and Choo Choo's just got enough damage out. And as we can see, I mean, Yasuo is just so able to get a lot of damage down so early.
Nice Q from Space Kitten. Not going to be able to go in on it, though.
And as we can see as well, I mean, the CS difference in this middle lane as well, it's about 56 CS at this point. So that's just massive. Choo Choo's is just getting gigantic at this point. I think he's probably going to be looking towards that.
Oh, here's nice hook on a Space Kid, and he's going to be taken out straight away. Colo as well. Great force pulse from Keen, but there's not enough to follow up. There's the Tibbers, and the bottom lane of Avant-Garde just get deleted. Carbon on the run as well. Looks for Keen, does get taken out, and what a turnaround. Little Wraith chasing down Choo Choo's now. BHZ taken low, but a double kill for Stars. What a fight for Little Wraith.
Yeah, Little Wraith really turning that fight on its head. In the meantime, though, Minky Well managing to 1v1 Colo here in the top lane, so getting that one out. Oh, actually, no, was Colo actually in the fight? No, I just completely messed up.
Good return
Minky
here,
Well
though.
is actually here, though.
Good return from Little Wraith. They're pushing up this middle lane. They're probably going to get that tower as well. Can Minky survive this, though? Keen not really forcing the damage. Has a red buff, though. Does want to chase. Minky doesn't have much mana, but it is enough. Oh, it's a 1v1. They both fall. The Ignite just ticking down.
Yeah, nice work. Minky Well is just such a man. He's just wanting to stay in any of these fights. He's just more than happy to fight whoever comes into his lane, and it might even be the Trixie Cassidy. He doesn't care. He's Minky Well. He's built full armor, but he's still happy to take on the magic damage potential of Keen.
Oh, I think it was Keen that really stepped up there. He kind of engaged, backed off, and was like, nah, man, I'm going back in. Use that ultimate and just committed. Oh, that was impressive from both of these guys. But doesn't really mean much for the match right here. I mean, there's not much AV can capitalize off, and there's not much Little Wraith can either, so it's just a 1v1.
Yeah, and this is actually really, really interesting because that last team fight won out so considerably there by Little Wraith, but not actually getting an objective from it, which is what Little Wraith are generally ridiculously good at doing. So a slight slip-up of their old form, but we'll see whether they can get it working out, especially considering the fact that Cassidy's really working into this game right now.
All right, so I'm keen to focus on Cassidy here right now.
Yeah.
And he's picked up the Haunting guys and the almost Seraph's Embrace. Got a little bit more to work on that. But he's 7-5-3 right now.
Yeah, and opting not to go for the Rod of Ages as well. For that extra health pool, he's gone for the Haunting guys, which gives him a little bit more magic penetration and early game damage potential, which I actually quite like because it gives Cassidy just a little bit more oomph in the early game. And as we can see, he's 7-5-3 now, really managing to utilize that little bit of extra power.
Yeah, and look at that wave clear though. Cardrid's just like, nope, you're not pushing my tower, and he kills the minions.
Yeah, and the problem here now as well for Little Wraith is the fact that we have 100% crit chance Choo Choo's here. With his Infinity Edge finished off, he's going to be doing heaps of damage, and we have 5 people in his bottom lane as well.
Can they find it though? Minky Well just on the defense right now. Oh, that cocoon was very close.
There it is!
Right onto Keen. Great target. He tries to jump back. Gets knocked up though from Choo Choo's. Look at the return though. That Tibbers was fantastic out of BHZ right now. And Stars still putting down the DPS. Hasn't taken any damage in this fight right now. BHZ gets another stun. And he will find a double kill for the support. So bloodthirsty right there. But it's a 2-for-2. I feel like Little Wraith might be able to get this tower though.
Little Wraith are underestimating BHZ every single time. Those Tibbers are doing gigantic amounts of damage.
Cassidy clean up. Carbon, be careful. Gets a nice cocoon off. That was very risky. If it missed, Keen would have taken him out. But they do slow it down a little bit. Tower will go down if Keen and Stars decide to go for it. But is it enough?
Yeah, it was in the end a 2-for-2. And I think Little Wraith definitely have the advantage as far as pressure are concerned. But they're going to be trying to finish off this turret as soon as the minions finally make it there. Oh, unless they catch our Cardrid.
Space Kid not going to go for it. Great spell shield coming out of there from Cardrid. All Stars with the flash. Doesn't find it though.
And Star's definitely upset that he's on the only champion with a targeted ability that he can move out
Finds
of.
the follow-up, doesn't find the kill, and falls in return. Shutdown for Thresh, though. We're seeing so many support kills right here, and I love it right now, but that was another kill for Keen.
Yeah, that's a 1-for-1, and they do manage to take the turret, though. So Little Wraith, in the end, do come out ahead. And that last trade, of course, was 2-for-2. So that's 3-for-3 in the end. That really drawn-out engagement, but Little Wraith taking the objective. So going back to their old ways, managing to pick up what they needed, and still going even.
Yeah, but it's Avant-Garde returning to their forward base, the Dragon Pit, and they're going to take it out.
Yeah, they're going to be able to take this one out for free as well. And Little Wraith didn't have any excuse at that point because they had it warded up completely the last time it was taken there by Avant-Garde.
Yeah. Their excuse was they were so busy destroying Avant-Garde in that bottom lane that they had to go back and recoup themselves.
Yeah, I think maybe Avant-Garde had just planned it all out. You know, we're going to
they
lose
traded
this
even.
slight fight.
I was just trolling him. Anyway, no, just kidding. Red buff going to be picked up, though, from Cardred right here. And 16 to 15 at the 22-minute mark here. A good gold lead for Avant-Garde Ascension. They're looking strong. I feel like some of the... Well, this early game has snowballed enough that they can deal with Keen. And if these hooks from Erect Gymnast keep coming out onto Keen, then these fights are going to be fantastic, I think.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And the fact that in the early game we see... you know, Keen racking up about 5 kills in the first 15 minutes, which is not something you're going to see from a Kassadin. And Colo really getting destroyed in that top lane as well. Hasn't actually found himself a kill yet. So everything that I predicted actually happened the opposite way, because Minkuel, super aggressive on this Trundle, really playing this game out almost better than he should, considering the fact that Trundle generally should lose to that Renekton, and then Keen also doing quite well in this early game as well. So
yeah,
things going quite strangely here.
Well, I think you were right, though. I mean, Minky did struggle in the beginning. He got ganked quite a bit, and Colo looked strong, but Minky, as you said, would start to scale after that level 12, and he's really started to turn it around. Maybe happened a little bit earlier, maybe around that level 9, but he has done fantastic, as you said. Wraith blocking that stun there from Carbon, not going to be enough. Actually, Spacekin jumps in. Great insect move on a Carbon, but he's just going to repel straight up. BHZ gets destroyed, finds himself in amongst 5 Avant-Garde, remembers that's not what he wants right there. Keen looking for the damage. It's a 2-kill pickup here onto Little Wraith already.
Oh,
Keen,
wow!
Great combo and a double kill for Choo Choo's in this fight. Erect Gymnast escapes with his life as well. Starts go down. Triple kill for Choo Choo's, and he's on the pain train right now because Colo's going to go down as well. He won't find a quadra kill, but it's an ace, and it's Cardred that finds it. Avant-Garde Ascension coming out huge in that engage.
That was absolutely perfect, and there's one thing that I really need to highlight. It's the death sentence landing onto Keen, holding it for a second, deciding to go in, and then instantly the cocoon to follow it up. So Keen was taken out. They also respected BHZ so much more, taking him out of the fight instantly. And from that point on, they just managed to kite everyone around, and Choo Choo's just utilizing his mobility so well in that team fight. Amazing work by Avant-Garde.
Oh man, BHZ just found himself in the wrong spot there as well. He died almost in that bush. That's how far forward he was. And he just got collapsed on and just wrecked. So great fight from Avant-Garde Redemption here, or Avant-Garde Ascension I should say. Redemption, their sister team, but 21 to 15 is the score now. And AV starting to snowball this game, I feel. Yeah,
they just doubled their gold lead with that ace as well, so really, really nice work. Managing to take down that turret as well in response, so making sure they follow it up with the objective as well, which is, as we always talk about, is very, very important. And Keen going to be able to pick up this farm in the bottom lane for a bit of a consolation prize. Lots of waves pushing here for Avant-Garde, so they just have control of this map right now.
And Choo Choo's really is playing this Yasuo to a very, very good level right now. It's hard to understate that. 10 to 4 is the score rate here, but it's just the style. You know, he's really nailing the communication with his team, engaging his ultimate off thresh hooks, off the smallest things that he can use in these fights to pick up the kills that matter. He's very squishy, but he's getting into these fights so hard right now, and it's just his amazing positioning as well as his I guess, point of view when it comes to engaging.
And utilizing his flow as well with his shield has also been something that he's been fantastic at doing, ducking in and out of these fights with his dash ability. So really nice play.
So Baron might be the play here for Avant-Garde Ascension. Will Little Wraith decide to defend it?
Well, we'll see. I mean, someone was thinking about backing. It might have been a little bit of a bait there, and there's a lot of vision here from Avant-Garde. They just know exactly what's going on in Little Wraith's jungle. I mean, everyone seems to know, so there's lots of wards everywhere, but Avant-Garde really doing well. Look at all the pink wards there in the top side around Baron.
Yeah, I think Avant-Garde need more, though. They need another sweeper so they can have 3, and then start to force this Baron right here. They're winning these fights out in the open. It's working well for them. So they need to be pulling off some Fnatic-style plays here where they can camp in a bush, get a catch there onto Keen.
Yeah, if they manage to do that, then it's almost game over at this point because they do have access to that mid lane inhibitor turret.
Oh, that's true.
So they'll be able to push through there and potentially get that one down and then move on to the Baron when there's super creeps actually heading into the base of Little Wraith. So if they manage to get a catch, it's going to be really, really detrimental. And Little Wraith, as you can see, know that, and so they're getting as much vision down as they possibly can. I mean, we saw Avant-Garde going through the blue side jungle there of Little Wraith, and in response, instantly, you've got all of Little Wraith coming through to try and fight back for that vision.
So this positioning from Avant-Garde is interesting. They know the dragon's up and they want it, but it's a minute away, so they've moved a little bit too early here, which means Little Wraith are going to be able to set up for it right here.
Yeah, slight miss time there, so they're not quite going to realize. Oh, here we are.
Killer Vice comes out. Choo Choo's needs to be careful. He needs to be the one coming in after the engage. He doesn't want to be engaging on that Yasuo.
He does have the Guardian Angel now as well, so
That's
he's
true.
just going to be so tricky to take down in these fights.
So, AV are going to force the power play here. Push down this middle lane right now. Force the hand of Little Wraith, and that's what we need to, what they need to be doing to win out this game right here, using that pressure that they've built.
Yeah, Little Wraith really out of position at this point. Nicely played and rotated here by Avant-Garde, waiting around that dragon in order to get the flank off. And they're going to be able to take this one down. Look at how much damage this turret's taking.
Great wall as well.
Oh,
great
wow.
timbers though onto two people. Choo Choo's gets kicked in, forced into that GA straight away in this fight. That was a great engage from Little Wraith. Can they take him out though? Gets one kill. Won't be able to follow it up. Stars pretty healthy in this fight right now. Carbon going to take a lot of damage. Will go down. 3 members of Avant-Garde already destroyed. Carbon goes down for a 4th kill, and only Space Kitten dying there for Little Wraith. Great fight for them.
Really well played there by Little Wraith, and the fact that they caught out Choo Choo's just took so much DPS out of that fight. Last Breath wasn't used that entire time, so just ridiculous. Subjugate also not being available there by Minky Well because it just, Choo Choo's got taken down way too early and he's just way too much of the damage, and this could mean a Baron.
I think it will be a Baron here. Minky Well not going to be able to stop this one by himself. It'll be suicide, and he doesn't have a smite either because he's top lane, but Baron will go down, and Little Wraith, I feel like this claws back enough of that deficit they had to put him about even, maybe even in the lead.
Yeah, definitely in the lead now that this Baron buff is up. They're, of course, down still a little bit in turrets and, of course, in that gold as well. But they're going to be able to go around here and pick up this dragon at the same time, which is definitely going to help them out in the gold front.
And, you know, both of these blue buffs up now as well, so Keen's going to have to transition, get his blue buff, so it adds time before Little Wraith can start to use the Baron to push here. So I'm interested to see what Avant-Garde Ascension use this time for. Do they use it to put down wards? Do they use it to push up their lanes? They have to make a choice right now because it's a small gap of time that they're going to be able to take advantage of Little Wraith.
Well, I think Avant-Garde really still need to respect the fact that there's a Baron buff on the side of Little Wraith. So it's going to be very, very hard for them to make it an aggressive decision until that buff's actually gone. So I think we'll see them playing defensively, sitting in defensive duties, trying to ward up their own jungle because they've been warding so aggressively because they've been ahead all game, and now the momentum's completely turned around.
But, okay, so what they chose to do was push lanes right here, and I think it's good. Forces the pressure around the map. They did have a little bit of time despite that Baron because Keen needed to get his blue buff. Space Kitten went to help him, so that's why we've seen a fair bit of time now where Little Wraith haven't been able to do anything because Keen and Space Kitten were basically out of action. And Avant pushing the bottom and the top lane, they're going to be slow pushing towards Little Wraith's space right now. Buys them a lot of time on this Baron right now where they just need to defend that middle lane.
Yeah, and they're playing this so well. They're not overextending. They're not going out pushing too far. They're making sure they get as many defensive wards as they can. Avant-Garde doing that ridiculously well and making sure that they can stay in this game. They're not getting too upset about the fact that Choo Choo's got caught and destroyed and really lost that team fight.
Yeah.
They're now just reconsolidating and everything's hopefully going to be fine. That being said, I mean, thinking about the late game for both of these teams, I mean, Trundle is massive late game. Oh, the hook.
I don't know if you want to hook in Cola right now, but Keen looks for some response. Oh, Space Kitten will he jump it though? We've seen him engage fights like this, uses that insect move with the ward to try and kick his opponent back.
Yeah, and Shelby also so aggressive on that Lee Sin as well.
Oh, might go in again. This is a tense moment now for Avant. They only need to defend this middle tower, and they're doing it quite effectively right here. Cardred has so much wave clear.
Yeah, so much wave clear. Opted to go for that Banshee's Veil as well, so it's going to be a lot harder for Keen to be able to poke him down. Went for that before the last Whisper actually was finished off, so really put a lot of emphasis on the fact that he wanted to mitigate that Kassadin damage.
Yeah, it does mean, though, that he himself puts out a little bit less damage, so Avant need to take that into consideration. I think they have here because Choo Choo's is so far ahead right now in terms of that damage. Space Kitten gets hooked. Erect Gymnast wants to get that flay off, does find it, but it's not enough. Great Wind Wallers there would have protected them from any kind of engage from Little Wraith.
Yeah, nice work, and they do not want to engage. We've been seeing these hooks coming through, but they're more just distractions. They don't want to overcommit against a team with Baron. And especially not when Keen's on there, and he's just so massive on this Kassadin at this point.
I'm starting to really appreciate this anti-pick as well against Yasuo. You can just drop your Paratrooper Tibbers in over the wall, just send him in, and still get that stun off, buy you a little bit of time to get past the wall, because on the other hand, someone like Lucian pops that Carling, just does nothing into that wall.
Yeah, it's absolutely creamed. You've got no choices there. At least Colo can slice and dice through it. He's not considered a projectile.
I always thought that would be an interesting interaction. You see like Xinjiao jump forward and just like go boom, stops at the wall.
Yeah, a little bit like a Pekka Koko Shavana maneuver. Straight into that wall.
Straight into the wall.
Yeah.
Anyway, they hit Maokai.
yeah, that's perfect aim.
Alrighty, so push again from Little Wraith. Baron, not too much left on it actually, so Avant have done a very good job of defending right here. The bottom lane and the top lane, as we said, pushed out, made sure that those lanes were safe, and the middle tower just gets defended from Sivir right there. It's taken no damage so far.
Yeah, nice work. Minky Whale not opting to go for this teleport, has to actually come down from this top lane after trying to shove that one back a little bit. And very, very nice maneuvers and rotation by him in order to make sure they have a 5-man squad.
Oh, wow. Colo force him into that Dominus already. And look at the follow-up. Erect Gymnast with a flash play. Great job from him. BHZ taken low. Another hook there onto Colo. And they drag in the Crocodile for the kill right there. He gets slaughtered. Stars gets knocked up as well.
Oh,
Another hook. Third in a row from Erect Gymnast. Follows it for a flay. What a fight. Double kill there for Choo Choo's.
That was the Erect Gymnast show. Those hooks were...
Triple kill from Choo Choo's. Flash engage off a minion. Incredible mechanics from this guy.
That's ridiculous. Just while I was singing the praises of Erect Gymnast, Choo Choo's just says, no, it was all about me, man, and then comes in with that incredible play just to finish off the last one. And they're going to be able to take this inhibitor down as well.
Wow, what a momentum change here. Avant-Garde, as soon as that Baron goes down, they just put their foot down and take this game away from Little Wraith. Picking up that inhibitor now. Keen's going to come in from the side. Not sure if he wants to keep going on this. Choo Choo's has that Guardian's Angel. So Avant-Garde, extraction is required for them though. They're going to get slowed down. Mickey still taking damage here, and Keen, he's found a struggler. He will get one. Minky Well goes down.
Yeah, Minky Well playing a little bit of distraction there just to get away from his team just a little bit, make sure that the snowball doesn't happen with consecutive rift walks, and the rest of the team is going to make it out. And definitely, it's okay to trade Minky Well for an inhibitor and an inhibitor turret. So that's definitely still worth it on the side of Avant-Garde. And that timing push was just fantastic. The fact that they got the hook exactly when they needed to, when Baron wore off, and as soon as Choo Choo's got his Guardian Angel back up again. Just such good timing and really, really good execution here by Avant-Garde.
Yeah, and Avant-Garde really stepping up in that sense, as you said right there. And Choo Choo's and Erect Gymnast have been playing phenomenally right now. Keen steals the blue buff here, so that's great for him. Going to have some more of that mana regen. But right now, I feel like it's Avant-Garde really putting the pressure down here. So what are they moving to do next? What's their next objective?
I think they're going to try and push down in this bottom lane just so that when... Oh, except the Baron's coming up in 45 minutes. I didn't actually take that into account. 45 seconds. Not 45 minutes, guys. We don't have to wait around for that long. So 40 seconds now on this Baron. So they're going to have to get the wards out. Avant-Garde really... They know that they have the teamfight potential, especially if they get those hooks from Erect Gymnast like they did.
Oh, man. Goes straight in, gets destroyed. Face checking is not what you want to do at this time. Carbon repels up. He's going to fall down right onto Stars, trying to bait Little Wraith away. He's going to be the sacrificial lamb right now. Will he escape is the question. Great cocoon right onto Space Kid, and I think that's going to buy Carbon enough. Culling comes out. A few more hits will do it. They do find the kill. A nice two-piece for Little Wraith.
Yeah, taking 2 kills just for baiting at that dragon. Really, really nice play here by Little Wraith. And I think that Avant-Garde just didn't expect them to be that aggressive in their playstyle, and they capitalized on it. Really, really nice play by Little Wraith.
Yeah, they ping the Baron, and they're going to go for it right here. What's Choo Choo's response, though? Is he going to push to try and get some pressure into their base, or is he going to try and defend the Baron with his team right now? It's to the wire right here. Little Wraith, it's a free Baron. And what are AV doing?
I think AV not able to actually contest this one at all because they don't have Carbon, they don't have the Smite, they don't have the ability to really get that one away. And of course, Space Kitten Shelby is on this Lee Sin, and he's just incredible at securing objectives as well. So there wasn't much of a chance there, but thankfully the inhibitor being down in this middle lane for AV means that they're not going to be able to necessarily lose that much, but really nice play here by Little Wraith in order to really get that Baron and secure the other side. So this game has just been going backwards and forwards now this pause comes out.
I was about to comment on the base right there, but then I suddenly see ourselves. But
so
there is a quick pause. We'll get through this one surely in a moment. But of course, we look at that mid lane there, and Choo Choo's had a choice. He had the choice to either push while Little Wraith were doing the Baron, or he could back off and play safe. And I feel like he should have been a bit more aggressive right there, because he would have probably picked up that second Nexus Tower as well. First one went down to the minions. Add Choo-Choos on top of that, and you can put a lot more damage down right here. So
yeah, and of course Yasuo has a lot of pushing power as well, so it does a lot of damage to those turrets being that.
I wonder if he could have won the
cannon.
game. I actually do.
I don't think he could have necessarily won the game because they would have seen him coming through Little Wraith, and they would have definitely sent at least one person back in order to deal with him.
Yeah, you see. Oh, steals
my
it with the
goodness!
Space Kitten from out of town right here.
That was ridiculous. The first hit of the Sonic Wave doesn't have any execute. That's just a little bit of damage there. So, like, that was absolutely insane, securing that with the Sonic
That's like a
Wave.
profound level status steal right there. Profound from Avant-Garde Redemption, the sister team of Avant here. Always has fantastic steals, and Shelby, what a beast.
That was incredible. And Avant-Garde really...
I forgive him for not lining up in champs like that.
Yep. He's made up for it. Yep. No worries at all. But Avant-Garde were looking for their silver lining there after losing that Baron, and they were unable to find it in that Dragon. Really, really upsetting for them. But they're now behind in gold as well, so it's only about 400, but Little Wraith has spent this entire game being behind, but now they've finally turned the tides, and we'll see whether they can make use of this, and we'll see whether this Kassadin pick is still the formidable late-game opponent that he's generally been banned away for.
Yeah, and I mean, he's kind of proving that. It's definitely scaling well. He's got that Void Staff now as well. I still wonder about that Haunting Guys pickup. It doesn't really have a major item that's going to be great for a Kassadin, that Leandri's Torment rather. You know, not optimal in my opinion, but of course, Keen's making it work right now. He's 9, 6, and 10, so I don't doubt him at all.
Yeah, well, it definitely worked out for him in the early game, and it's okay just sitting there. He doesn't really mind having a little bit of extra flat Magic Pen. That's no worries for him. Does have that Zhonya's Hourglass, of course, also available, so he can do those tricky plays.
That was a great Ardent Blaze. Got 2 Banshee's Veils with it.
Oh, not bad at all.
2 for 1. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, Kassadin now in the top lane as well.
Talisman of Ascension is popped from both teams. Nice Pillar of Ice, not quite catching Space Kitten, though.
Yeah, on the wrong side of the pillar did Minky Whale get him, so unable to actually get this off. But there's a lot of abilities actually blown, so the talismans on both sides being popped. Oh, on the hunt now as well.
Another one, they're going to go in. Can Minky Whale find it? Great Pillar of Ice right there. Collar going to take a lot of damage here. Jumping into the fight. It's a huge melee fest right here between these guys. Cardra jumping out the side. Carbon, great positioning, blocking the Qs there from Space Kitten. And Carbon will go down. So will Keen after this. Zhonya's will be going down. Space Kitten as well. Can Carbon clean it up though? Looking for the kills here. Keen on a double kill. Can he find another? He's on the run. He won't be able to find it. Does go down. That was a huge fight right there from both of these teams. Star's the only survivor, and somehow Choo-Choo surviving. Minky will find it. Jair gonna pop. Choo-Choo's will be up first. We'll find it onto Stars for sure.
Oh, there's
Great
the cocoon.
And it's a 4 for 2. Crazy fight right there.
That was ridiculous, and I got very scared for Avant-Garde when Keen just launched into that fight and did so much damage, but just unable to do quite enough. That Zhonya's Hourglass was fantastic, but just not enough. And Choo-Choo's having that Guardian Angel meant that he came back up again after Stars went down, and now they have a lot of damage in order to take down this base, even though Cardra isn't here.
Just kidding. Space Kitten doesn't do too much damage, but BHZ might as well on that Annie. Choo-Choo takes a lot of damage, gets exhausted as well, needs to run out. Space Kitten forced away, and the inhibitor does go down there. So a good rotation from Avant-Garde Ascension right here. And they're going to have to back off after this.
Yeah, Minky Whale being at such high health means that they just couldn't do anything. I mean, Space Kitten and BHZ just aren't going to be able to contend with the gigantuanness of this Minky Rail right now.
Yeah. You like inventing words, don't you, Atlas? I really appreciate it right here. But what's the next move for Little Wraith now? They've lost that inhibitor. It's in the middle lane, thankfully. It's a little bit easier to defend.
Yeah, it's not as bad, to be honest. Like, if they had have lost the bottom lane inhibitor turret and the inhibitor, that would have been a massive deal. But the fact is that they lost that one inhibitor that had already been down before. And after losing a team fight that catastrophically, that was a 4 for 2, I think, in the end.
Yep.
Definitely it's okay for Little Wraith to only have lost that much when it could have been so much worse.
And the gold really doesn't mean much right now. I mean, we're getting to that point where even these supports are starting to build things like that Zhonya's Hourglass. I think Annie's going for a DFG here, though, so yeah, that's where we're getting to in this game. 40 minutes right now. It's all about the map play right here. Where are the wards going out? How are these guys rotating and positioning?
Yeah, and
that's what's important.
If one of these teams gets a pick, it's almost guaranteed to be the game for either team. So making sure that whoever starts off this fight correctly really will have a massive advantage. So we'll look to see these teams playing really defensively because they'll understand that they cannot get caught and they cannot get the perfect engagement by the enemy team.
Yeah, and I guess it's rather tragic as well. You can spend the whole match up ahead, but if it gets to this late stage, which Little Wraith have done a great job of kind of stalling it out to, that one fight could be the difference, and that's what we might see here. Keen still playing fantastically, 11 for 7, 410. Big stats for him. Unfortunately, also big on the deaths, but I feel he's happy with his game so far.
Oh, yeah. Keen's been playing fantastically, really getting in amongst it on that cast, and as we can see by those deaths, but it's been paying off because he's got 11 kills to his name and 10 assists.
He's trying to be a hero, will go down. Colo takes him out.
The only problem here for Little Wraith is the fact that Renekton and Lee Sin fall off so bad in the late game. So they're not necessarily going to be nearly as effective as Minky Whale and Carbon here on Elise and Trundle, who are just fantastic. Especially Trundle here just becomes a monster. Subjugate able just to nullify one of these tanks really, really hard.
So, 29 to 23. A little bit of an irrelevant score. Perhaps the mind game for these guys as they look at those numbers might be a thing. But of course the towers is what's really important. 7 to 3, those objectives standing between you and that Nexus is what matters here in Game 1 of this best of 3 series. Of course, this is Game 1 and it has gone for a long time here. So a great way to open up this match.
Yeah, it's really, really epic so far. And we're looking to see Baron spawning again in about 10 seconds. Choo Choo's is a long way away though. This might give Little Wraith an opportunity.
And there's a pause.
Yep, so we're going to be just back, just to have a little bit of a chat to you again, guys, just while this game gets sorted out.
So, little bit of a slow phase here. What are these guys thinking? What's running through their heads?
I think they're just waiting for Baron. Unfortunately, Choo Choo's in that bottom lane now is going to give Little Wraith a little bit more of an opportunity. So we'll see whether they manage to capitalize on it. Hopefully back into the game. All right.
There we go. So, Baron going to be started up here in Little Wraith. This is going to be interesting. There it is, spawning up on time as always, but AV are here to fight it. Choo Choo's will arrive late, but that's fine for him. Kohler gets caught out. That is not good, gets hooked in. Will be going down as well. No, Slice and Dice is out. BHZ with the great tippers to keep his top laner alive, but BHZ will pay the price, goes down. Kardra picks that one up. A great wall as well, blocking that. Culling as well from Lucian.
Oh, Space Kitten gets it.
We found it with the smite right there. Kicks Carbon out as well. Avant-Garde have picked up a triple kill though. Will it be enough to win the game?
Yeah, 3 for 1 now. Stars and Colo are alive. Colo's now been back to base and has full health. So is that gigantic tank with a large health bar. So Stars being there for the DPS as well. They might be able to do this, but it's going to be very, very difficult for these guys.
Carbon tried to repel to a minion and it died. He does get pulled back in. I feel that like this will be the game. Avant-Garde, after losing that Baron, will be able to turn this one around. Only the Nexus standing between them and a Game 1 victory. They will go for it. They will find it.
Oh, Inhibitor respawns!
Wow, what? Are you serious? The Inhibitor spawned. Stars might be able to pick this one up. Colo still defending. 9 seconds on BHZ. Keen and Space Kitten coming up. Nexus so close to death right here. Will they find it? Avant-Garde Ascension, they do. And they take out Game 1 of this best of 3. What an insane ending to that match.
It was absolutely ridiculous. That Inhibitor respawn was such a troll that they still... so dominantly that set, and they definitely deserve that victory.
Oh man, I don't think we could have had a better ending to that 45-minute game. That was a nail biter for Game 1.
Oh yeah, and we've seen another Kassadin go down as well, so I'm wondering why he keeps getting banned, because he's getting easier and easier to deal with by these teams.
And I feel like Avant-Garde's champion select was phenomenal right there.
Oh, yeah.
You look back at it, and that Caitlyn first ban was just huge for him. So, I can't wait to see what we're going to get from them in game number 2 of this best of 3 series. It's qualification and elimination here at the regionals. One team will move on to Supernova, so don't go anywhere. Game 2's coming right up.
Hey, beautiful.
We still on for dinner?
Pepper, 9 o'clock. Ha!
9 o'clock, right?
How about 8:30 at the vegan place?
Actually, I'm in the mood for barbecue.
Sounds good.
Take a call and stay in the game. With the Plantronics rig, headset, and mixer, life comes to games like never before.
Welcome back to the regionals, guys, and we are going into game number 2 of this best of 3 series very soon, guys, but I want to see who the featured player is, because after that matchup, I'm just so hyped.
Oh, absolutely, and especially when it's going to be Minkiewell and Colo. Minkiewell being such a monster on that Trundle in the last game. As you can see here, the last 3 picks, he was playing a lot of Shyvana. He had that option there. Decided to go for the Trundle because he's a troll at heart, really wants to be whacking people, and he was just so strong in the later sides of that game.
Those kills, deaths, and assists. 2.3 across the board.
Yep.
Is Minkiewell a consistent player? I think he is.
I think he's consistently 2.3.
Average.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe. I don't know. He played so well in that last game, though. But Colo assists across the board right here. I guess that plays into the hand of a Rumble pick there, which he likes to play. 6 assists, not too many kills, but I mean, the top lane matchups are always a little bit misleading with the kills and deaths because it's such an island, but both of these players are just playing incredibly today.
Yeah, they really, really are. I mean, Colo got a little bit outmatched towards the later sides of that game, but was putting so much pressure on Minky early, and we're into Champion Select. Caitlyn never going to get through. And
this is, again, a Vanguard Ascension. The Caitlyn ban works so well for them in game number 1. The Mind game won't work as well on blue side because a lot of teams expect purple side to ban that Kassadin here, so we'll see. Keen, even if the Kassadin was open, I don't know if he would pick it up. But of course, the idea behind this Caitlyn ban in the last game was Avantgarde would pick up Sivir and Kassadin if Keen didn't grab it here. So maybe they're going to force that hand again. We'll wait and see. Ryze banned out again, though.
Yeah, Kassadin being banned out on the side of Little Wraith as well, so they definitely don't want that to go over to Choo Choo's either. So not going to see Kassadin in this game. Not going to have any of those mind games coming through. Lulu going to be banned away as well. So smart bans coming through here. There are a few things that are still available, like Sivir, for instance, that you were talking about. So that's going to be important to see whether we're going to see that one either banned here right now or picked up straight away.
Little Wraith have a hard decision right now. What do they ban out? I mean, if they don't ban Ziggs, Choo Choo's is most likely going to pick that one up.
Oh, yeah.
He might go for an Assassin as well. I mean, Yasuo is open, and that was huge in the last game. But if they don't ban that Sivir, I feel like Avant will pick it up. It was what they were looking for in the last
Oh
game.
my goodness.
And are they going to lock in the Sivir is the question now because the Yasuo was the ban.
Yeah, and so now they have the option of do they pick up the Sivir or do they opt for something else instead, because there's a lot of options on the table here right now.
Yeah. Well, they're going to wait around a little bit.
Yeah, it's not going to
See
really
what we're
come
choosing
through
for
straight
it.
away.
Morgana going to be the lock-in here. Okay.
Oh, Erect Gymnast really, really loves that pickup. That was banned in the last game, of course. A lot of things escaping the ban. So Ziggs, possibly Ziggs Sivir now being picked up by Little Wraith could be the option.
I feel like that would be a good pickup here. You got a lot of wave clear, a lot of poke, and the champions really work well together right here. Ziggs as well, picking that away from Choo Choo's is strong. And the Sivir, of course, great for your own team, but you take it away from Avantgarde Ascension as well.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, Sivir does lack a little bit of that turret pressure that you can put on with the likes of, I mean, a Jinx is definitely an option here for Little Wraith just to fit in with their playstyle. But Sivir, just the amount of mobility that you can get is just incredible. And the fact that you've got 2 champions with massive wave clear means that no one can siege against you.
Alrighty, so next pick. Definitely thinking about a lot more this game.
Ooh, Evelynn.
Evelynn could be the lock-in. Sahi and Spooks, the other guys here that play Evelynn at this round of 8. So Space Kitten going to join them in the Hall of Fame of Evelynn. No, just trolling me. Going to go for that Sivir, and that's much more expected. Don't really want to give that Sivir Morgana lane over to Avantgarde Ascension.
Yeah, you definitely don't, but picking that one up, and that's what we were expecting. Ziggs and Sivir being the 2 picks that were just so incredibly dominant. I mean, Ziggs has been dominant in the past, but last game Sivir was so powerful. So we'll see what Avantgarde pick up in response. I mean, Thresh is available. We also have Evelynn is available for Carbon as well if he wants to pick that one up. And we'll see what Choo Choo's decides to pick up for his team. I mean, it could be the Thresh, it could be something else. Oh, it won't be the Thresh because Morgana's already been picked, so I'm just talking rubbish. We'll see whether they go for the Lucian, though, as a response, or whether they opt for something else.
I would kind of like to see a Lee Sin pick here. I mean, it's one of Carbon's most played, one of Space Kitten's most played. We used it in the last game as well. So taking that away from Space Kitten would be strong. And I feel a Lee Sin in this high mobility comp from Little Wraith is very strong as well. So a lot of mind games going on between these 2 teams. And I feel it's because they have very similar play styles at the heart of things. You know, Carbon likes to be aggressive in the jungle. Choo Choo's and Keen as well. So let's see. Greg is going to be the lock-in, though, for Choo Choo's.
My goodness. And this is different from Choo Choo's. He doesn't normally like to go for these sort of heavy wave cleary, like, it's more of a teamfight champion, Gragas. I mean, he likes to get his explosive cask in the right spots in order to win these teamfights, whereas Ziggs, a lot more pokey. It's sort of his assassin poke type style is being taken away a little bit here by Gragas, although I guess he does have a lot of potential in that area as well. But I haven't seen him play it myself. We'll see whether he can play it to full effect.
Okay, so Keen does not want to lock in a Kayle here. Kayle just gets trashed by Aggregus, I feel. The barrels coming out slows your attack speed. You really rely on reckoning your Q as well as maybe a Lichbane hit to work out. I don't know, maybe Keen's going to pick this and they're going to do a lane swap. Of course, that'll be for the top lane. I'm just losing my plot right here because it's a Ziggs in the middle lane.
Interesting pickup.
Yeah, so I guess Kayle in the top is something I didn't expect. A Kha'Zix would be a lot more reasonable there, and Colo not usually one to play assassins, but I have seen him do it in the past. So.
Well, Shelby Space Kitten has actually played a lot of Kha'Zix as well, so he could be picking that up for the jungle.
Man.
So that could be one of the options here too, leaving the top lane pickup for later on, and that is going to be locked in as well. So Leona Sivir, that is a lot of burst damage if you land in the right spot in that bottom lane. Yep. But they need to be fighting almost all the time. So we'll see what the AD carry is that's going to get picked up. I think you'd probably want some safety in this bottom lane.
It's kind of interesting though. I mean, picking a Leona
picking Leona into Morgana is weird.
Yeah, going to be able to block a lot of that CC with the Black Shield there. I would have liked to see an Annie picked up. It wasn't banned out right here. It would have worked well for BX in that bottom lane. He played a fantastic
Annie. He was
last
brilliant,
match.
exactly.
Yeah, great Tibbers. Didn't really have any points of failure. I think he missed maybe one, or got caught out once where he flashed into the enemy team, got surrounded and killed. But I mean, one error in a 45-minute game is pretty good. So interesting there. It's going to be Minky Well picking up that Trundle again, though. And I mean, he played fantastically in game number 1, so got to go with it again.
Yeah, definitely happy to pick that one up. And I think Renekton's probably going to be the pick again for Colo. Not entirely sure. He didn't really fare that well on the later sides of the game, but in the early stages definitely did really well on that Renekton, and he's very comfortable there as well. We'll see what he decides to do. I'd be very happy to see a Rumble being picked up, but I doubt that'd be the case just because with Sivir, not necessarily as much synergy. Does synergize really well with Ziggs, but when you want to be mobile and running around a lot, you don't necessarily worry about keeping people locked down.
Okay, so the Hovering Mundo. I was thinking maybe a Shyvana pick here. Porky, or Colo rather, has a very good win rate with that Shyvana. Works well with the Sivir. So does the Mundo, though, and it's something that Colo has played a lot of. Colo, one of those tops that really sticks to that tri-meta of the Mundo, the Shyvana, and the Renekton, and he always does fantastically well right there, so we'll see. They do go for that Shyvana, though, thank God.
Yeah,
I think
like
that pick is a
lock-in.
lot better for him, and against this Trundle, it's going to be good as well. But that synergy with Sivir is what they're looking for.
That is absolutely
it's
right.
great.
Yeah, because they get that burnout combination, and you're missing out on the Lulu as far as that trifecta is concerned, but having On the Hunt plus burnout Shyvana just means that she can get anywhere in these team fights and do exactly what she needs to do. And
yeah,
you're not going to have that on the side of Avant-Garde this time, so they're going to have the Trundle, but not necessarily the On the Hunt support to really get him in there and get him auto-attacking.
Yeah, so these are our team comps. What's standing out to you?
Well, I like Little Wraith's comp a little bit more, just because I like the Sivir combination with that Shyvana, and they also have so much anti-siege on the side of with a Ziggs as well, which is just a massive pickup on that front. But they can also engage really hard because you've got Space Kid to come in and jump on top of everyone that's been caught in solar flares and stuff like that from V8Z. So there's pick potential, there's teamfight potential, there's also counter siege potential and poke potential coming out from this Little Wraith side. So they've got a lot of options.
Yeah.
They just don't necessarily have the actual siege on top of everything because they've got the Sivir, a little bit low range, a little bit more difficult to really get in there under those turrets and really make those things happen. And with Explosive Cask and other options on the side of Avant-Garde, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for them. And Gragas known for his clear as well, so able to clear against this Ziggs.
And all of these things as well for Little Wraith kind of coming in to show one big thing, and I feel it's that their team is adapting a lot right here to how the meta is changing. I mean, historically, we saw a lot of games from them through November to February, basically, from last year to now, playing majorly just poke, push comps, going for objectives, and usually shying away from the early mid-game fights unless their opponents have been poked down. Things like the Gragas, the Nidalee, the Orianna were big pickups for them. And now we're seeing them go for things like that Sivir, which promote big mid-game fights with that On the Hunt. And I really like it. I feel Little Wraith has done a good job of keeping up with the rest of the teams, knowing the direction they want to take, and making sure that they're at the level they need to be at for these regionals.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, but looking over on the side of Avant-Garde, I mean, they've also adapted their playstyle as well. I mean,
Absolutely,
they didn't necessarily get their Sivir pickup, but they've got Lucian as well in that bottom lane on top of Morgana as well. And Erect Gymnast was so flawless on that Morgana. It's definitely first pick worthy. If anyone was thinking, oh, why would they pick up a support Morgana as the first pick? You'll probably find out this game. You will see how incredible Erect Gymnast is on that champion.
Oh, man. Be careful how you talk people up. We saw T-Guns Thresh the other night.
He has never disappointed so far, and we've seen it a few times.
Well, we saw T-Guns Thresh the other night, and I hyped everything out of that, and he just had a bit of a rough game. So things can happen, though. And I guess that's what the regionals is all about. Teams finding their ground in the scene. See how far they can push themselves, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, that's true. It's true. And Erect Gymnast has shown us that he's had consistency in the past. So we'll see whether he can do it this time. But now I've probably just jinxed the heck out of it.
Alrighty, so game one is coming right up. Oh, game two, I should say. We'll see how this one goes. Let's get into it. Onto the Rift yet again, and this is what we like to see. Avant-Garde and Little Wraith going toe-to-toe here in game number 2. Avant up game number 1 here, Atlas. What are we expecting for the early game?
Yeah, Avant's going to be a little bit more relaxed, I guess, this game. Little Wraith are going to be feeling the pressure massively, though, so I'm expecting just a defensive start from these guys. They're not going to want to take too many chances and really let this game get out of their hands early on. Avant-Garde have the option now to try and push an advantage early, especially because Carbon is on that Evelyn as well. Can scout out a little bit further, able to get that vision range a little bit before his enemy does when they do come in contact with one another, but not going to be able to see anything. And Little Wraith are really planning some sort of invade here.
Well, they do get spotted out by Choo Choo's, throw him a bomb, and he catches it.
Yeah, Choo Choo's not
quite the athlete,
afraid
actually.
at all. Yeah, as you can see, his physique definitely gives him the availability to dodge out of the way of anything.
Nice and snug in that suit.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty, so Little Wraith. Failed engage right there, but of course, defensive level 1 here from Avant-Garde. They don't really do anything off the back of it, so fairly standard. No wards put down either, which is a little bit interesting. Actually, no, there wasn't one put down by Little Wraith. Thought they were going for the red buff ward.
Yeah, they don't actually have any space for any of these wards, so unable to really do any of that stuff. And Trinket's only just coming up right about now, so they're going to be able to put them down and really get some vision happening here.
So, minute 36 into this game, and no minions to be killed just yet. And you see, this is just the result of the level 1. It's quite uninteresting, these teams just always playing it safe, and it's not something we used to see in the past. I mean, we talked about the Oceanic level 1s being slow in the past, but we saw movement at least. Now it's just nothing. They may as well just stay in the base.
Yeah, it's true. One thing I really liked here on the side of Little Wraith is they made it look like Space Kitten was starting at the blue buff, but he's actually moved around and he's got a little bit of help from Colo and he's taking the red buff first. So he's going to end up in the bottom side of the map, the same side that Carbon's going to be as well. And we'll see whether Little Wraith can actually ward against Carbon. That's something that's really, really important, is making sure you get your wards at the right spots to deal with Evelynn. Getting them into monster camps and in positions where Evelynn's not necessarily going to be as stealthed is very important. And getting your pink wards in the right spots as well is really good too.
Yeah, and I mean, Little Wraith haven't really been investing as much into wards, I feel, as Avant-Garde Ascension have been. We only have really one game to look back on, though, because these guys definitely changing their playstyles, I feel, from the first week of the round of 8.
Yeah, it's true. They've really, and you can see we've got an evolving scene down here in Oceania. So all the teams really adapting quite quickly. Yeah. So adapting within pauses as well.
So is Kha'Zix.
Yeah.
He's adapting quite a bit.
Has that adaptability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've got to wait till level 6, which we're not close to yet.
Oh,
bit of a pause coming out early, and these guys just chilling.
Yeah, actually, that's a very good point you raised, though, Place.
Did I even raise a point?
You did. You raised the point of what ability is Kha'Zix going to be leveling first, because we've been seeing a lot of different evolutions being played around with after the after the evolution of Q has been nerfed off a little. And we've seen players like Insec from the KT Bullets, who's been evolving that ultimate first every single time. But a lot of other people have been opting from the jungle, of course, to go for
the leap.
The leap first.
Yeah.
But Alex Ich, in the mid lane, when he plays it, he builds tier first, goes for that Manamune, builds a Lizard Elder, and then evolves his W first, like the Kha'Zix of old. So there's been lots of different things, and all of them we've seen be successful.
I don't know if we're going to see these guys rushing for that, though.
Yeah, I don't think necessarily the Alex Ich the Russian for that. Wow.
Oh, that just whooshed over you, Atlas. Get wrecked. Anyway, the big thing, though, is I like that ultimate evolve coming out of Kassadin.
Yeah, it's very cool.
The 50% damage reduction and the stealth actually scales now as well. It got buffed, so you get
you get minion pass through as well. So not getting creep locked while you're stealthed is really important.
The big thing is it's 2 seconds now, and what we've seen a lot of Kha'Zix do when they were evolving the Q back before that one was nerfed was they would pop the ultimate for a bit of stealth, much like a Wukong would to gank, and then leap, and it's a shorter range leap, but we're right back into the game. And with the extended stealth there for a Kha'Zix, you can really get into the lanes a little bit more. So,
and also within fights as well, you can utilize the 2 seconds off to really weave in your Qs and do a little bit of extra damage. Oh, bit of an engage in the bottom lane though.
So we're into this one. BHZ gets stunned up. Here's Carbon as well, arriving at a great time. BHZ forced to flash. I don't think he'll go down, but he might. Ignite is ticking, and there is the first blood.
Oh my goodness, that was just fantastic play. Carbon coming in at the right time, making sure they got the picks off. And this is a really good start for Avant-Garde, and they've really kept this momentum flowing.
Great pillar right there onto Colo. Mickey Well slamming him next to the
the flash!
Flashes forward, but Stars is in trouble as well. Another auto attack. Great barrier holds onto it to the last second. Stars playing it to the wire.
Yeah, and Colo as well going down incredibly low in that top lane. And we saw this happening earlier on, and wow, Minky Well is just such a beast on this Trundle.
Yeah, and this is a guy we've seen play in literally every lane competitively at some point in his competitive life. He's been around forever, and right now he's dominating this top lane, and it's good to see him keeping active and keeping on top of his mechanics right here. Holding a lot of momentum in this matchup. I feel like he's just carrying all of that momentum from game 1 and just plowing it through Colo right here.
And he's also just making sure that we forget the fact that Trundle's supposed to be a little bit weaker than a lot of these champions early on. He's just proving the fact that if you're a good player, you can
they're going
to
go for it, though. Great Ice Pillar, and Colo's in trouble. Minky will fall to the tower. Ignite takes him down.
Oh,
the
double
kill for Colo. What a turnaround, and he survives with a sliver of health.
That was a fatal error there in the top lane, not really working out how much damage they could take, and Carbon was level 3. So he just took incredible amounts of damage from that turret and got obliterated. He took about 2 turret hits and was then pretty much dead.
Just kidding, BHZ. Gets snared, though.
Yeah.
For his troubles.
Gets snared a little bit there in the bottom lane.
Just trying to disrupt their base right here. Good work from BHZ. It means a lot more than you might expect. I mean, Erect Gymnast arrives a little bit later, might miss a creep or 2 of experience, means he hits level 6 a bit later. We're looking big here, but small gains. You know, game of inches is a term that gets used a lot, and I feel like Little Wraith didn't really get the best of that in the last game, so maybe they can turn that one around this time.
Yeah, it's right, and having Cardred come back to lane a little bit before Erect Gymnast means that they're not going to have the 2v2 situation as well, and gives BHZ a little bit of a Zenith Blade option as well, which is good.
So Choo Choo's in this middle lane against Keen. Keen already out of mana, actually, so been trying to put down a lot of harass. Choo Choo's doesn't seem to be bothered with it, though.
Yeah, and I think Keen's probably going to look to go back, or no, yeah, he's just going to back around the corner here. And that makes sense as well. Look, Bilgewater Cutlass now being finished up here by Colo in the top lane, and only a Vampiric Scepter by Minky Whale, so 600 gold behind, actually, as far as that build is concerned, and that is getting scary for Minky Whale.
Yeah, and 6 minutes into this game, we've already seen 3 kills right here because of that top lane engage right now. Gold is even, though. Little Wraith not actually pulling out ahead in that one, so clearly the CS for Avant-Garde Ascension has been pretty good.
Yeah, they've been doing really, really well. Of course, Avant-Garde getting a little bit of extra gold from that first blood as well did help them along, but Carbon now waiting around in this bottom lane.
Ooh. He's been ganking a lot this game. Stars will be the focus. Great shield coming out. Snare. Oh, it catches BHZ. Stars gets away. Cardred can't find it. Dives, eats a tower shot, and has to back out.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Shield of Daybreak not quite available from BHZ in time to get him snared under that turret, but it's getting a little bit risky here. Avant-Garde are trying to force engagements, and it's not working out for them. They don't have the damage.
It's a bit nerve-wracking as well because all of this time Space Kitten's been farming in that jungle. 35 CS now for him, actually out-farming his AD carry there, which is a pretty impressive effort for him. And I'm just going to be very scared of this Kha'Zix once he enters this mid-game.
Yeah, when he comes out, he's gone back to base now. Has that pink ward available as well, so going to be able to keep track of Carbon a little bit more effectively.
BHZ, he's waiting for the Black Shield to go down. Eats a lot of damage for his troubles, though. Walks through that Tormented Soil. Might go down. Cardred, one more will find it, and he does. There's the ultimate, though, from Ziggs. Cardred takes a lot of damage, and Stars, one more hit will do it. Nice barrier from both of them. Stars finds it. Can he get another under Erect Gymnast? It's so close, but it's Erect that takes him out.
Yeah, Erect Gymnast picking up that kill, but it did go 2 for 1 in that bottom lane, so not bad at all. Stars picking up that kill on Cardred is definitely important, though, and not very much farm in this bottom lane just because they're fighting constantly.
Yeah. I mean, Erect Gymnast really standing to attention in that play right here.
Oh my goodness,
Minky Whale as well in this top lane. Getting pushed in by Shyvana. This momentum has really turned around since that double kill.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a bit speechless. That was...
It's alright, I've got this.
That was
Carbon
fantastic.
Killing his Wraiths right here. And we've got another pause. Really awkward time to have a pause as well.
It was. I'm just I don't really know what's going on anymore. It's done.
So let's recap the early game. What happened?
Well, I think Erect Gymnast stood to attention, didn't he?
Wow. Okay,
that
so
happened?
I will take point here, Atlas. We saw a big fight in that top lane. Space Kitten and Minky really going for that one.
Real blunder there as well by Avant-Garde. Really not working out how to tank this turret effectively and not realizing that they didn't have the damage in order to take down Colo in that top lane. And that was a massive mistake, honestly, because now Minky has no chance in that top lane when he was dominating it really hard.
Yeah, and you know, how do you turn this around? Minky Whale's going to be on a bit of an island there in that top lane against Shyvana, and being behind as much as he is now, is it an issue for him, or is it something he can definitely take back?
Well, I think Trundles are generally used to being behind in the early stages of the game, so he's capable of just sitting up there and just defending.
Yeah.
But when Colo manages to scale up into this later sides of the game, he's going to have now a buffer. And Minky's going to really struggle to 1v1 him in that lane as well. So the push of Shyvana is just massive, and she'll always be able to outshove a Trundle.
So, I mean, it's something we're going to have to watch for here. And Space Kitten as well, been playing a lot in this jungle, so we'll have to wait and see. Pause is resumed. So let's see how this one goes.
Yeah, and I think that's also a thing, like you mentioned there, of course. Kha'Zix's now only just feeling the presence on the map.
And Space Kid looking for a gank in the top lane. Mickey Whale takes a lot of damage. Nice Eyes Pillar as well, going to buy him some time. Space Kitten, he's taking the tower, got the reset though. He will survive it.
Yeah, nice work. Colo actually picking up the tower aggro there. Space Kitten jumping back in. Yeah. And they're just teaching Avant-Garde how you're supposed to dive a turret, and that's how you do it.
Oh, snap. Bit of not respect coming out there. So the evolution as well for Space Kitten was that leap, and that reset really helping him out in that top lane.
Yeah, nice work, and that's the decision that he made, and not the insect decision, but the decision of a lot of junglers recently, and it's been working out so well for Space Kitten so far, especially considering, I mean, this is the first thing that we saw of him, and it was definitely positive. Really
Here we
nice
go,
work.
though. Blue side, Avant-Garde still looking for these dragons early. They won't find it. They're going to engage onto BHZ. Great barrel, but an even better
Stars.
flash. Stars goes down in response, though, so this is going to be a free dragon here for Avant-Garde. Ziggs is making his way over. Can Keen contest?
He can potentially go for the steal. Mega Inferno Bomb is available, so he might be able to get something. There it is. Not enough damage. Yeah, just trying to get a little bit of harass down, but a little bit too much damage available for Avant-Garde.
Very early, but there wasn't much vision for his team either. Actually, no vision at all, and we go straight back to us because there is another pause.
Yeah, I think they were pausing just to say, look, I think that Mega Inferno Bomb went off a little bit too early.
Yeah.
And
hey, mate, not good enough.
Yeah, they just need to tell Keen. It's like, buddy, calm down. I mean, not
was he a bit
soon.
keen?
Yeah, I think he was a bit keen. I think he was definitely.
I mean, they didn't have vision, so it's fair enough. You know? Oh well.
Yeah,
we've seen some great steals though. Space Kitten game 1.
Oh, that Sonic Wave was amazing.
It's a shame it happened about 39 minutes where it didn't particularly matter. It might have been earlier than that, but it was still sick.
That's true.
It was so awesome.
It was coming straight off their taking of Baron. I mean, it got them very, very close together as far as items and gold were concerned. But Avant-Garde just managing to come through with a nice team fight afterwards. So I still think that dragon was a pretty cool maneuver. That being said, back into this game where it's important. And look at this top lane. This is ridiculous. 3-0-0 now for Colo.
Oh, man.
And has a full Giant's Belt and Chain Vest pretty much ahead of Minky Royal. Minky Royal just has a Ruby Crystal instead of those two items. So looking very dangerous in this top lane.
Yeah, Minky in a bit of trouble right here. And, you know, this is a bit unfortunate for Avant-Garde. Behind in this second game, and I believe it was their Shots' birthday the other day as well. So, you know, he wants his team to win. That's his birthday present right here. So Avant-Garde, a little bit more on the line maybe.
Yeah, happy birthday, Shots. Thank you very much. And that being said, back into the game, they're not actually behind. They still do have a gold lead, about 400 gold in the lead. But that being said, like, Colo, if he manages to snowball his lead through the rest of the map, that's going to be a real issue because he's going to be a monster of a tank and really difficult to deal with.
Yeah, and Colo, I mean, his Shyvana has just been filthy in the past. He's played it in so many events. It was once one of their staple champions with the Gragas. So, I mean, you got to respect this Shyvana out of Colo.
Yeah, it's really true, and he's showing us exactly why you have to respect it as well, considering that dive that happened before. Minky Whale now a level behind as well, so finding it very difficult to trade in this lane.
But he's going to do it his best. And that's what Mickey Whale's all about. Keeping positive, keeping that smile up.
That's true. You got to keep the train on the tracks, as it were, on the Minky Rail.
Yeah. Well, Choo Choo's isn't joining him just yet. He's too busy farming and drinking in that middle lane and pushing Keen. So we'll wait and see how this goes. Carbon in the bottom lane, just sneaking around here, stealthed up, puts down a ward. Does ward reveal you from stealth? I didn't quite see that.
If you put down a ward? No, it doesn't.
Okay, so
I don't believe so.
They're going to see a ward magically appear in that bush there. They'll probably work that one out anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Meanwhile, abilities are missing in the bottom lane, and this middle lane has been so incredibly passive. I mean, we haven't really been seeing anything happening. Just a farm off, they're about 6 in between one another, and they're just going to be farming out each wave and then just leaving it. Ooh, space
nice
get.
ice wave, but look at that burnout damage coming out of Cola right there. Mickey Whale just gets chunked by it. Very far behind right now. 1 level, that's going to compound pretty quickly right here.
Yeah, he's stayed up in CS, though. He's only about 7 behind at this point, so doing well in order to keep farming and not to sort of lose faith in this lane completely.
And look at the jungles as well here. Space Kitten, 52 CS. That is insane from him compared to Carbon's 36. I mean, Carbon's been going for ganks right now, but Space Kitten's like, nope, I'm going to farm.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Stars has been having a horrible day in this bottom lane as well. Really unable to get the farm going that he wants it to.
Good positioning, though. Blocks a lot of that culling for for his 80k right there behind Leona. But there we go.
Oh, here's
jump
the flash
in,
forward.
And the double ultimate coming out there from Erect Gymnast. Finds them both. Nice kill onto Stars. BHZ might follow here as well. Misses the ultimate. That is not good news for him. He will go down, and it's a double kill for Cardred.
And that is the bottom lane of Avant-Garde really stepping up. I mean, that was incredible play. Just making sure that they... Oh, meanwhile...
Carbon, he's taking a lot of damage. Colo has ulti. Just drives by and takes him out. Choo-Choo's knocks Colo back. Can they put him in his place? They jumps over the wall. He won't go down just yet. Minky Well can't find him, and Space Kitten just juking around now. Fantastic engage from Colo.
Yeah, Colo, as you were saying before, incredible on this Shyvana, utilizing everything. Picks up Carbon for free and then manages to get out against two people.
Stars actually hit Cardred right there, but Cardred managed to get back anyway.
Yep, very, very
Defying
sneaky
game
from
physics. Anyway, red buff going to be taken out here by Space Kitten.
Yep, and the game being sort of evened up a little bit as well as far as objectives are concerned. So the bottom lane turret going down for Avant-Garde. So now it's just the Dragon that's on Avant-Garde's side as far as this gold swing is concerned. So looking very, very close so far, but just all of the gold spread in different parts of this map. So we'll see which team can greatly capitalize on where their money has been landing.
Yeah. So, going back to this bottom lane here, extended lane phase is what we're looking at. A little bit interesting considering there is a Kha'Zix. BHZ actually taking a lot of damage. I don't think they're going to be able to follow, but a lot of pressure from this AV bottom lane.
Yeah, and Little Wraith has shoved it all the way up, and it's now very, very dangerous for them to stay in this lane just because of the chasing potential of Cardred and Erect Gymnast on the champions that they are. Of course, Morgana, Fantasia. You land that Dark Binding, and they're just not going to be able to get away at this point just because they've just managed to do so well in the early stages of this game.
So we're seeing a lot more of this Evelynn lately. You know, what is this build path she's going for? Kind of take us through that.
Well, I'm finding it a little bit interesting, to be honest.
Oh, one actually. Oh, that isolation damage is just dirty right there on a Carbon right there. Cardred has to come in to defend that one out.
Yeah, normally what the Evelynn build that you'd go with is generally you go for something like a Randuin's Omen straight after your Lizard Elder, wanting to go for those Banshee's Veils, building a bit tanky, but it looks to me like Carbon wants to go for a Hex Drinker for his potential next item. I've been seeing that one getting a little bit popular, not generally going for that more of Malmortius too early, but wanting to have that little bit of an extra magic damage shield.
Wow, that would be quite interesting as well. You know, you compound that with a Erect Gymnast Black Shield. But there we go on the hunt popped. Can
nice.
Stars find anything here? BHZ missed that Zenith Blade to start with. Spacekin comes in. Leona ulti whiffed again. Stars takes a lot of damage, but it's even more onto Morgana. Erect Gymnast goes down.
Erect Gymnast goes down, but that could have been a lot worse here on the side of Avant-Garde with 4 people here in the bot lane against 3. Nice work to get rid of these minions before, but now it looks to me like they'll have enough pressure. Minky Well answering in the top lane.
Yeah, easy tower there, easy tower in the top lane as well. So a trade overall, but Dragon is available.
Yeah, Dragon being available is going to make this
Colo!
one. Oh, dear.
Man, he has the Dragon's Descent as well. That was very close taking that damage.
Very, very scary. It makes doing Dragon a little bit more dangerous here, although they do have 4 members and there's not quite as many. Oh, here's the
Carbon in a bit of trouble as Space Kitten jumps in. He flashes back straight away. So the Dragon might go down here. Lots of damage from Carbon and Space Kitten rather as well. Here comes the damage though from Little Wraith. Carbon eats a boomerang from Stars. That is not good news for him. Snare comes across us through. Cardred looking for the cleanup. He won't find a great flash from Keen. Choo-Choo's just dominates Stars right there with the body slam. And overall, it's a 3-for-1 in the favor of Avant-Garde, Ascension, and Minky Well pressuring Colo here. This is the return of the Whale in this top lane. He is scaling into this late game.
Yeah, and he just took 2 turrets in a row as well. He was left alone for way too long, and Colo falling down in that mid lane, so incredibly low to Choo-Choo's, meant that there was so much time spent by Minky Well just pushing out that top lane forever. And that definitely worked out in favor of Avant-Garde. They're now 3,000 gold in the lead from what was a really, really close match, and they just lost a Dragon as well.
So 9-7 right here, and gold lead in Avant-Garde Ascension's favor here as well. It's game number 2 as well. So if they win this, they will be qualifying to Supernova and joining the rest of the teams going there. Immunity, Frenetic Array, and of course the winner of this one. So only one more team left to qualify after this best of 3 series here. So it's definitely down to the wire.
Yeah, it's so down to the wire. So it's going to be yeah, it's going to be ridiculous. So we'll see whether Avant-Garde can stay focused. What they really need to worry about is the fact that they can't get complacent at this point. If they feel like they're ahead, They've got to stay on top of their game because Little Wraith are still
oh man,
so
Space
good.
Kitten, you are in the wrong place right here. Gets destroyed by Choo Choo's.
Explosive cast coming out. A little bit of overkill, but definitely works out for the style points, as it were. And Colo needs to get out of this top lane and start moving around and making an impression. He needs to leave somebody else up there to defend it so that he can bring his 4 kills and massive CS advantage. Oh, well, it's not a massive CS advantage anymore, but he's got to bring all of his power into these fights.
So Bomb's going to be coming out here, and this is one of the saving graces for Little Wraith. They have that Ziggs, and he is fantastic at clearing out these waves right here, as well as stars. So Little Wraith are going to be able to total this one out for a long time. Kind of interested to see how Avant deal with this. It's going to be a bit of a tricky situation for them.
Yeah, Avant really needs to get all their waves pushing. As you were talking about before, they've got to push it out. Slow pushing in the bottom lane is definitely going to work, so they need to add pressure. And Minky Whale's feeling confident enough, does have that Blade of the Ruined King finish, so he probably feels like he can go toe-to-toe with Colo.
Yeah.
And with that Subjugate, I actually agree with him. I think that he definitely would be able to win that 1v1 fight. So we'll see whether that's the case. And if that is, then they're going to have an advantage as far as pressure on the map is concerned. And it just means that they need to clear out in the mid lane and let things happen. That being said, red is being taken and possibly contested.
We'll see how it goes for them. Explosive cast, not quite
no.
finding it. Choo Choo's went for it, but not quite. But you see, this is the vision that Avant-Garde Ascension have. Without the wards that they've managed to put down, that play would have never been able to happen for them. And, you know, it didn't work out, but it was an attempt, and that's what matters here. You know, Avant-Garde Ascension are taking the initiative on this game, and that's how you find leads.
Yeah, and they're really dictating the game as well. They're forcing Little Wraith to play avant-garde League of Legends, which is something that Little Wraith are generally really good at, is making sure people are reacting to them. Oh, here in the top lane,
2v1 situation, the rest of the party coming to him. Choo Choo's arrives, goes straight in!
Oh my
Look
god!
at that damage on Space Kitten. That Greg assault was filthy right there. Colo's going to go down as well. Huge shutdown for him. BHZ on the run as well, right? Cartridge flashes forward, going for it. Look at the moves right here. Tries to take out Keen. Will find it eventually. And can he get the double? He does. Cartridge just steps up massively right there and picks up a double kill.
Cardred is a beast. Flashing forward, finding a Ziggs, but not getting scared. He's going to take out the Leona and then turn and get the double kill. And they're going to be able to take a Baron off this. This game is getting out of control so quickly, and Little Wraith really need to consolidate, otherwise this is going to fall out of their hands. If this Baron goes down, and it will, Avant-Garde are in such a massive position. We are most likely going to see them at Supernova.
I think Choo Choo's just chucked his ulti in there off the side. That was fantastic. Oh, man. Avant-Garde need to rename to Avant Offense right here, because they're just taking this game by the reins, controlling this one out. 14-7 at this 20-minute mark is incredible.
It's really, really well played. I think Choo Choo's just couldn't be bothered staying in there and doing enough damage himself. Wanted to farm Wraiths, so he threw in his explosive cask and then went, no, I'm out of here, guys. Don't worry about it.
Oh, man.
But he can do that, you know. He's 3-0-1. Ain't no one going to be telling this Gragas what to do. He's a monstrous, monstrous player right now. And in that top lane, that just snowballed everything. Really amazingly played by Minky Well and Choo Choo's in order to get that kill on both Space Kitten and Colo.
I really feel it was Cardred. 2v1, flashing forward over that Leona ultimate.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Was amazing right there. But we have to see what are Avant-Garde going to do off this Baron. They picked up that huge objective. They've managed to get into a position where they can push very quickly here as well, so definitely making use of it so far.
They really are, and Ziggs coming back from base is going to be able to get there in order to defend this inner turret, and that is what Ziggs is generally incredibly good at, the counter siege, the ability to clear a wave so effectively with his bouncing bombs and, of course, his Hextech minefield. So I think we'll have to see AV decide to do, yes, and here it is, the split push maneuver with Minky Well getting out onto the side lane and pushing through. Oh, Carbon Space Kitten.
Yeah, a little bit of trouble. Space Kitten popping that ulti as well. Even the isolation
damage.
Oh my gosh! Wow, that Gragas ulti was truly filthy right there. Takes him out mid-leap. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that wasn't actually, it was the hate spike as well as the explosive cask at the same time. Man. Absolutely ridiculous. And they're happy to tank up this turret. Minky Well taking no damage from this one.
Choo Choo's Express, man, right there is all he needed. And Colo's in trouble now as well. Actually looking for an engage right here. Will they find it? Minky Well on the run. Uh-oh, Choo Choo's just jumping straight out of that one. And it's Colo that goes down at the start of that fight really quickly there. Wreck Gymnast picks up the kill there on Morgana.
Yeah, Colo unfortunately just dying for free there. Just got DPS down. The hate spikes and Minky Well just wailing on him forever. No pun intended, of course, everyone. and just able to do enough damage to take him out, and he really didn't achieve anything for his life. So taking an inner turret, 2 inner turrets now, and Avant-Garde just outplaying Little Wraith around this map.
Oh, man. So Dragon going to be picked up here as well by Avant-Garde Ascension. Did you really say wailing forever?
Yeah, it was wailing on him forever.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Minky Whale, what a boss.
Oh, wow! Deleted?
What just happened right there? I think Choo Choo's insta-give Stars over the wall.
I think Choo Choo's was definitely offering Stars a drink, and Stars didn't want any.
Man.
Because or maybe it was just a little bit too much, because that whole cast definitely took out Stars, obliterated so quickly.
Got a keg.
That's so true.
Anyway,
so true.
Pushing the bottom lane, though, and Avant-Garde Ascension really just snowballing this game out of control. In 3 minutes, they have picked up like 3 kills right here. Insane stuff from them. Not much Little Wraith can do against this one. The whole lineup of Avant-Garde Ascension just playing their champions perfectly right here.
Yeah, pardon me. That was actually ridiculous. And now, of course, the top lane has pushed back towards Avant-Garde, so they need to send someone back there. It can't be quite as aggressive, but they've taken out every inner turret. So it's now 6 turrets to 2, and Little Wraith are not used to being in this position. They're used to taking control of objectives and really snowballing it out. They're the team that's good at taking down everybody else by taking objectives, and they know what to do in that position. But right now, this is outside of their comfort zone. They're playing from behind, and they're just not able to do it quite as well.
I think as well, Little Wraith are used to being that team that really puts a priority pick onto that Gragas. When they had Wild Joshi in that middle lane, it's what they went for. Ooh. Great flash from Stars. He had that shield anyway, though. Kola gets snared up right here, takes a big barrel, decides to fly out of that one. But again, Little Wraith, they usually like to have this Gragas. They are used to having this filthy damage, and now that AV have her right here, they're really struggling against
getting in
Choo-Choo's.
trouble.
He is in so much trouble. Oh, great juke! Right under Cardred, flashes out as well, escapes. But at what cost? Having to use his entire kit to run away. That's not how you win games right here, and Choo Choo's looking for the kill here on the BHZ. BHZ just juking him out right here. Flashes all around the place to get out of that ultimate from Keen as well.
Oh,
Cardred
nice
on the run.
McHale's.
Colo looking for it. He won't find it. Great pillar from Minky Whale. Locks in another kill. Colo flashes into the base, and this is a big fight here for Avant-Garde Ascension. They're going to pick up this mid tower.
Yeah, no, only Stars going down in amongst all of that action.
What's Choo Choo's doing? Though. He's looking for something. We don't quite see. He doesn't find a kill, though. Just looking for harass right here. Inhibitor will go down here, Atlas.
And that's only 1 kill. Only 1 kill, and Avant-Garde managed to turn that into a middle inhibitor as well. So putting on so much pressure, that whole fight was just hanging on a knife edge. You didn't know who was going to go down, and that Mega Inferno Bomb really missing and not doing quite enough damage solidified it there for Avant-Garde.
Yeah, that fight just rolling around on those barrels right there.
Yeah, it really, really is. And Choo Choo's, before, he just picked up a full Void Star. Before that, he had the same items pretty much as Keen. But was just his abilities just doing so much damage. You can never count out or underestimate a Gragas and the amount of damage those barrels do.
Oh, man. I mean, 4-0 and 3.
Oh, the surrender.
So it's going to be Avant-Garde Ascension moving on into Supernova. And you know, that game was looking so one-sided as well. Avant-Garde, game 1, super close, 45 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Game 2, they just came out and stomped it. It was fantastic.
Well, it was sort of, they stomped it after, like, a particular point. They just won a team fight so incredibly, incredibly well, and then never let go of the gas. They were pressuring for the entire time and managed to get all the turrets out, then taking down that inhibitor. And I understand the Little Wraith surrender because there was no way they were going to come back. And Avant-Garde ascending to Supernova. Fantastic work.
And they're going to be joining Team Immunity and Dignitas as well that we saw earlier on. Team NV rather. Team NV. And Dignitas, as I was looking for, will be playing against Little Wraith here from today tomorrow.
No, Little Wraith are actually out. Yeah. Your Soul Shell Chuffer are going to be versing against, of course, the brand new Dignitas. So that's going to be tomorrow night, everyone, and I'm incredibly excited for that matchup because that's going to be a rematch, actually, of Frenetic Array versus Your Soul Shell Chuffer when they took Chuffer down when they were utilizing their game-winning strategy of that Swain and Rumble combination.
As well as the Ashe there. So that'll be an interesting game tomorrow night, guys. So tune in for that one. It starts at 6 p.m. And that's all from tonight, guys. Your victors for that game, doing a fantastic job, Avant-Garde Ascension, taking it 2-0. But on behalf of myself, Atlas, the broadcast crew, everyone else involved, thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow at 6 p.m.
Thank you.